Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to kick it off then. SK Astralis will be the debut matchup of our second day for the group stage. By the end of this one, we will have some quarterfinals locked in. Teams are going home today. Cutthroat. And to start with such a big headline act, I'm certainly not complaining. My name is Machine. We're here at the Xfinity Analyst Desk with the ever lovely and delightful combo of ex-players. It is, of course, YNK and Sponge. We don't have buckets of time, but I do think it'd be fun to kind of start by outlining, you know, SK and their development. We keep talking about how they look better now. They look better now, but they've only recently reintroduced a brand new player to the roster. Surely they should be in a rough patch right now.
Yeah, I think it has to be noted with Phelps removed from this roster and the introduction of Bolt, they've gone back to the old system. Now that's all the praise in my mind going to Fallen. Fallen for me is the father of modern day Counter-Strike, right? This guy has introduced the theory side, the chemistry within this team, the communication, the brotherhood, the family side of things. This guy is basically the daddy of all that. And with Bolts in the team, they can go back to the style that they were so successful with throughout 2016.
Perfect. Actually, that leads us quite nicely into an opportunity to hear from Fallen. Yeah, we spoke to our camera crew, and he was talking all about this new addition and the man behind this magical SK roster.
The Epicenter one was a great tournament. Of course, we always have expectations to win tournaments, but as it was the first time experiencing playing with boats, it went better than we all expected, because we knew that we could win the tournament, but we knew it would be a very difficult task. To see that the first time we played together, we were able to beat teams like we did in that tournament just shows how good we can be with this team. The matchup against FaZe was something we were waiting for a long time. There are a couple teams that try to get the #1 spot in the world, and in order to do that, you need to play the best teams that are playing in your current era. This matchup was very expected, not only for the public, but for the players as well, because we knew they were forming a good team and they had to beat us to establish themselves. And it was a great match, very intense, and I'm just happy that we came on top. I don't know exactly why Caravan didn't beat me on any BO3 yet. I think he's a great leader. It just could be that the way he likes to play and the way he likes to call doesn't really fit the way we like to play. Let's hope we can grow this statistic, because I want to keep beating them. Our mindset is just to keep working, just keep grinding the new team with both, trying to get him used to how we like to play and trying to use his strengths as well. Back in the days when we were playing for Luminosity and starting our path in CSGO, he was a very different player, and I think his mentality is something that changed the most. When we detected something should be differently, or we are doing some mistakes in some games and we tried to change that, he wasn't really paying too much attention on changing those details. He was not very concerned about that. You can see it already that he's much more concerned about improving fastly and really paying attention on those details that can change games. I think he's way more grown-up guy already, and he fixed all those mistakes on him. And he's an incredible player. He has great game sense. The way he plays and his passiveness is something that we have been looking for in the recent past. He's a very different player from what Phelps was. He's much more similar, like FNX, for example, on the previous lineups we had. The first experience was great, but now we need to put a little bit more of work on the server and practice and play more tournaments to see how it goes. Last time we came here, we had good results, but we didn't lift the trophy. So this time we really wanted to go further. And I think the fans are lovely here. And they really feel the passion on the game, and you can see that on their chants, when they're screaming during the rounds. And I know that's going to be an insane atmosphere on the stadium, and I just hope I can get there.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I certainly feel like I'm enlightened. A lot of things that the points you made actually, you know, often when we're talking about SK and this Bolts change are now reciprocated by Fallen himself. So that must feel nice.
Doesn't happen very often, Alex, but when it does actually feel nice. And, you know, I think it's a fair point and a point you can make about a lot of players that, you know, over the course of the last two and a half years or so, Bolts has matured as a player and as a person, right? You know, he has probably realized the system in which he was in and the team in which he was in with Luminosity, and seeing them lift the major trophies and so forth really makes you think, damn, I should have probably, you know, made those small changes and worked a little bit harder to stay in the team. And I think now he's definitely going to appreciate the second chance that he's gotten with the same roster.
I hadn't even considered that time where he's been removed from the roster and then watches their trajectory shift. That must have been very, as a human being, that must have been hard to watch.
Yeah, but to be fair, his growth period within Immortals, as an individual and that team was pretty good itself, right? Like they were always I guess, the minnow, and you had SK as the leading factor for Brazil, right? And then you had this Immortals roster who was always living in their shadow, and then they came out of the last major looking even better. I know that's with a roster that got completely decimated, but for Bolt, he was the in-game leader. He was getting a lot done.
He got to a grand final.
Huge impact, and I think that definitely helped him getting back on this team now. And #1 in the world, right?
Yeah, everything happens for a reason this time. We get to see Bolts now back on and firing on all cylinders. We're using that term far too much. We can talk about Astralis, though, because they do have Device back on the roster, so they can be firing on all cylinders now, guys. We're going to be seeing the Danish Star Orper, hopefully fresh, because, I mean, he's already said that he's still not feeling well on Twitter. He's also flew in yesterday, so he probably woke up at 5 AM wanting some orange juice. This is the jet lag life.
Oh, Jay, well, 2 of the 4 of the best teams in the world that we have here are going to play right now, Alex. Astralis versus SK Gaming. And you look at, when they faced off at the major and that Overpass game that we all remember how Device completely manhandled Fallen. It's something that I don't think we've ever seen Fallen get destroyed like that by the opposing Opper directly. And then obviously that makes Device a crucial piece of the puzzle for Astralis. And it's going to be very interesting to see how will all of that manifest now in this particular matchup.
100%. We do need to know the maps, though. It's going to kind of breeze through it. We do have a 7-map pool. Let's find out where the best of 1 will be taking us.
And this has been like the issue for Astralis recently. Maps like Overpass, they've been the best team on the world, but they've been losing a lot of games recently. Train isn't really as strong for them as it previously was. So there are a couple of maps that SK can exploit.
I did see them practicing stuff on Overpass as I walked past coming to the desk here, so they might be thinking that's going to be the map. And I think considering what Device did to Fallen last time, they might be comfortable with that.
Yeah, okay.
It's still a very scary map when you're playing against SK, who are fantastic at that the theory side of Counter-Strike, reacting in all different scenarios. I was talking to Glaive today in the lift when I was heading down to breakfast, and he said, they're obviously still very frustrated about yesterday, and it sucks that they're in the position they're in with the whole Device scenario, having Zonic and then getting blown out of the water by Cloud9. But I told him stuff happens. I use a different word than stuff, and they win both games today, and they're in a pretty good spot.
I mean, it must be so difficult, isn't it, really? You can see, trying to get everything back. They're in the high spirits. They've been making a lot of noise. I saw, 3 or 4 team huddles outside in the sun this morning.
Loving it.
They're just trying to, reset. They've hit the reset button, and they're trying to get back to where they would have liked to have started this tournament.
Yeah.
And I think this is where we see Overpass again, right?
Yeah.
Because the SK has been shaky on Inferno lately. You really have a hard time seeing them pick that map for a best of 1. And you probably point towards Cash and wonder, why do you really veto Cash? It's been very strong for SK with Phelps, and for Astralis, it's one of their lower tier maps, but they have been putting in a lot of work. So this might just be SK with this particular lineup with Bolts. It reminds, as we've seen, of FNX. And when they had FNX, they were actually a force to be reckoned with on Overpass. It really allows Fer to be aggressive by himself. We saw how he by himself almost dismantled FaZe at Epicenter, so that's something that Astralis are definitely going to have to keep their eye out on.
And there he is on your screens, a man with a playstyle that is hard to replicate, Chad. I think you can expand on that.
Yeah, very annoying, but I actually think the battle's going to go down toward this B side, right? I know Fer can be hard to handle, but the way that Astralis have been approaching their T side on Overpass recently is with a lot of B plays, and they've actually brought in a really fast B execute into their regime. Normally they do that set piece where they get the sewer control and use the Molotovs, the smokes, all that kind of jazz, use the one smoke to open up multiple lines of sight. They've been doing something which is quite a bit faster. They've been throwing the smokes as they're running, and they've been pouncing onto the bomb site. And I think, if they can have that change of pace, they can mix it up. They can probably catch SK on the back foot.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to put our best foot forward and start moving into our first game of our second day here for IEM Oakland 2017. SK, Astralis, Overpass. This is a recipe for a big one, and our casters are no different. We do have Henry G and Sadakis to guide you through this blockbuster.
Thank you very much, Alex. Yes, we certainly do. Interestingly enough, Henry, I don't think we were the worst at dressing today. Green does not really go with orange, and that looks like Halloween.
I like it. It's
okay, fair enough.
It's modern. It's contemporary. It is out there. That's what he's about. But either way, this is a blockbuster game. It is a recipe for a big one. And we'll see whether SK Gaming can kick things off in style here with 2 smokes, flashbangs, and aggressive play, of course, from Glaive. It goes towards the party area. He's somehow snuck behind enemy lines here. So this is going to be quite interesting. In terms of the general approach from SK, they're waiting for this aggression, though. You can see them holding up at the T-steps. We have got Fer waiting towards a playground position. No kits, just a note for Astralis. That bomb goes down, but things become very difficult indeed. We have expended 2 decoys towards the B site, and we're heading towards A for now, where Glaive has fallen back towards long A, and he'll be able to challenge Fur at this point, along with Fallen.
Should be able to do so with relative ease. As Fur heads up toward Long, Fallen as well. Taco is going to start to hole off the front of the bathrooms. Fallen's already cleared inside of Connector, so the 3 players toward B, 2 and A. Very passive strategy that Astralis has. Gives a lot of room for SK to get close. 2 players without armor. A straight shot. Fur is able to take down Glaive. I've got no noises, Henry. I'm not sure about you, but tough to tell. As Fur finds a second kill on Kiarbi as well. He's going to swap over to the USP, back off the site, and immediately it's Bolts that has to hold off from the truck toward the back stairs.
Well, at this point, we have no kits, remember. And it's going to be the retake coming in from Astralis. 3 versus 5. Fur to open things up. He's been playing lights-out Counter-Strike as of late, and it looks like it might be enough. We might not even be going for this one. We're going to save the armor, from what I can see on the Astralis side. Might as well. They're going to be force buying into the next round. This round is done, and we'll see whether they can hold on to the USPs here. It's a really difficult decision to make. Obviously, it's a pistol round. Everyone just thinks, well, we might as well just go for it. It's 5 on 3. We're not going to be saving these weapons, the default pistols. That armor is worth $650, and it means you do have that for the next round. You're going to get deagles. You're going to save that money. There's no point in throwing it away on a round that's guaranteed to go against you.
Bolts will sit all the way back. You're right in saying so. So interestingly enough, first round pistol is the round in which we see an early call for the save. Usually that's the second round pistol. You still try and contest and get kills where you can, but unfortunately they won't do so in this particular round. Fortunately for the point of excitement, I actually think it adds more to the late game. Or I should say, the next few rounds, CT side.
Well, there we have it. It will be fair to open things up. Only 2 frags acquired. As I said, Astralis save the armor, meaning they can get a little bit of force buy mentality going on here with some save cash as well. They haven't had to go all in. Deagle CZ, a couple of smokes for Zipex and Dupree as well. Watch out for Dupree with that Desert Eagle. He can be quite the demon with that particular weapon. And we have a pretty standard setup. 2 CD players towards the bathrooms, not boosting or anything. Let's be holding up as Dupree falls back. We have got quite a focus on the Mac 10 zone. 1 Galil for Bolts as well. Taco with the only real rifle there, the AK-47. And presumably, with the utility, we'll get some long control towards middle as well. And we're actually going to be falling back from A. So they've shown presence there, push the CDs back right to the bomb site, and they'll potentially head back towards the B area. We have got this boost towards the B bomb site itself. Zipex with his teammate just showing that they can hold it off if required. It's Glaive that's going to be boosted up here, and Kiarbi looking for anything he can and gets his head blown off in the bathroom. Luckily, it is for a wall, so he'll be able to stay alive for now. He'll certainly fall back. Bit of sound for you there, Matt?
Yeah, maybe. Not quite sure yet. I got the game noises at least. Fur is going to jump around to Mac 10. 1 of 3.
Yeah, this will be an A finish. Smoke down at the end of long A, and Dupree in the little cubby hole. Nice overlooked position in CSGO. We'll see whether he can get that going. Oh, good flashbang from his teammates, but can't find the shot just yet. It's fair to take him down. It cracks open the A bomb site, and we'll still have Device there defending him. He gets 1 kill, but that will be it. Now it's up to the remaining CTs to try and get something out of this round. Quite a long one. We'll go get the bomb down at the 8-second mark, but that's absolutely fine. Zipex will get 1 consolation frag if you like. He's got head armor, and he'll get a second. This is actually looking quite interesting for him now. No kit to work with, but he is causing damage to the financial situation of SK.
Certainly is. The second shot as well was pretty impressive as he jumped across behind the stairs. Able to snap to the left, but he'll have to fall away. So round's gone. Unfortunately, even after a smoke grenade, it takes forever to pull that pistol back out.
Yep, the IKEA pistol, you've got to assemble it yourself. Can be a little bit tricky in those sort of situations, but there it is, SK Gaming with the 2-0. Let's just talk about Astralis. We saw them a couple of times yesterday. Obviously, the first game was on this map against NIP, but you had to obviously take that with a grain of salt because they had Zonic playing for them, right? Obviously, Device, he can go toe-to-toe with Fallen. We've seen it many times. Well, we've seen it one specific time where you absolutely ravaged him on this map. So this should be a very good game. If Device can turn up, if he's got over the health issues he had yesterday, then maybe Fallen might meet his match today. We'll find out. And this round will be relatively simple. Firm, Bolts, Fallen, all just finding the frags required. There's going to be just Device remaining now. And as he tucks himself in the corner, he'll get a little dink off there on Cold Zero, but that's about it. There certainly is a bonus situation, is what we call this in the business, with 3 Mac 10s, one of which has been upgraded. Cold Zero is having none of that nonsense. He knows he wants to get round to the board. It's best of 1. instead of just focusing on the financial situation, he's want to be looking at the bigger picture, maybe not taking so many risks there. It's certainly a bit of a gamble to keep 3 MAC-10s. We have got 3 unarmored heads for Astralis, meaning those 2 MAC-10s from the previous round can cause some serious damage. Device with the AWP, and it's not the same story here for Fallen. That's what we call it the bonus round. It's a little bit of a potluck as to whether you can get things going here. You just need that opening pick and then it snowballs.
So the 3 AKs carried over again for SK Gaming as Device gets onto the op early. A nice run boost gets Glaive in position, but with no smoke, and Bolt so far forward inside of Monster, his feet spotted quite quickly. Bolts follows up to find Zipex as well. Losing only Taco on the approach, gives the site to SK to go 4-0. Smoke down heaven as well, and a nade through.
This could be done already. This could be another safe call. You can see the kits have gone down. B-bomb side's open, 4-on-3. They've got no positional control. They're falling back. Such a difficult round, and that's amazing from Bolt. So entry frag potential from him. A player that's been superb since he rejoined the roster. They said it in the pre-game that he's kind of grown as a player since the Luminosity days. I think his time in Immortals has made him very, very capable of actually picking SK Gaming up and getting them back to the full-time #1 spot. It seems like this overall package is looking great so far. And Bolts, he'll single-handedly win the round there. In towards B, Taka goes down, gets the information. 2 kills come in, Zipex and Glaive drop, and I try to keep everyone alive here for Astralis. That's the objective at this point. Dupree will find Fallen. I think he only had the MAC-10 at that point, so that was absolutely fine. Round done, 4-0. This is pretty much a must-win game for Astralis as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. No, it is a must-win game.
Yeah.
That's without saying. I mean, the fact that Cloud9 and NiP are still in this group and have looked great is a problem for Astralis. They have to win this game to, I think, even give themselves a chance. I don't know. I can't say that with absolute authority because there's obviously the tiebreak system and the overtime lost point system. So depending on what happens between Cloud9 and NiP, okay, if NiP has an off game, if Mongols are able to upset anyone at all, I mean, there's lots of factors in that. Actually, I take that back though because Mongols only play Astralis and 1 other, so there's that's not really much of a chance at all, in fact. But that, yeah, this is pressure on early, and naturally, therefore, we've already had the timeout call. You can see Zonic behind them on the headset, as well as Freddy, who flew over with Device. He made a point of staying behind with him the extra day to make sure he was had someone to take care of him on the plane. You know, you don't want to fly alone when you're that sick, obviously. Absolutely. And Mia, the psychologist for the team. So they're both nearby. Obviously, can't be communicating during the game, but yeah, this is all hands on deck for them.
Boost coming through in a push off. Sure, but first says no. Double headshot coming in. They just run into his crosshair. He sees it coming. It's an aggressive stance from Astralis, but nothing gets done whatsoever. They're getting absolutely torn apart here. The B bomb side especially is where all the action's going down. Zipex to try and recover the situation. He sits in the smoke, but he's got players all around him. Can he get anything done here? The pressure's mounting. He is behind enemy lines. There's one. The smoke down makes things very confusing. Zipex trying to save the round. It might be enough at this point, but it's a 3-on-2.
Zipex back out short tunnel found by Fallen. That's going to be the round gone, I'm afraid. Device with the AWP's got a tough decision to make because they've saved so many times previously. But even though he's at jungle and close enough to the site, ooh, good flash timing.
Here we go.
As he takes down Taco, he still has to make a decision. Bomb gets planted late. That'll give him more time without a kit to try and get back inside of the site, but Fallen knew where he was. Good flash in, and they just take the fight immediately.
That's good. As soon as he fires the shot, they know his position. Throw the flashbang in. He's still got another player there to play with the bomb. He's got the AWP and no kit, and he'll be outflanked once again. Oh, this play was just phenomenal. The control and the confidence, that's what we've come to expect of this guy. Very strong indeed, and it's going to be not so much a force buy here from Astralis, but with the maximum loss bonus coming in and the money they've saved, they'll be able to buy up fully into the next round. So they go for CZs, Deagles, and Glaive with a cheeky little MP9 there as well. Fallen gets on the AWP for the first time, and we'll see whether this partial buy from Astralis yields any sort of result as we head into round number 6. It's Fur to open things up. What a game he's having so far.
Fur's going to try and spot out Device. Gets taken down immediately. Cold Zeros responds with the AK-47. So at least 1 kill on the pistols so far, but overall it's still the advantage for SK. As a result, boost for Zipex. That's 2 players at B, therefore, and 1 still rotating out toward top mid.
4-on-3. Still could be challenging for the SK boys here. They've got their smokes, their flashbangs, a couple of Molotovs to work with here, but the CZs and MP9, I'm not feeling too confident right now, but you never know. All it takes is one sneaky position to be overlooked, like Dupree's in right now, and maybe he finds an AK-47 and can turn the round on his head. It's going to be a tall order for sure. SK Gaming certainly biding their time. They'll make their way up towards long in the connector, and Dupree spotted that was the position we were looking out for. He goes down to 15 HP. Molotov's raining in, and he's funneled back towards Taco. Down he goes. And this is looking very good from SK Gaming. Not giving anything away at this point. No mistakes being made. Keeping decent numbers up. We'll see if Zipex and Glaive can even find an opening here. SK still not committing. Is waiting for the mistakes to be made, looking for people to hunt for information, and there it is. Glaive has to do something from the bathrooms. Then MP9 gets nothing done. And Zipex, I guess, if he finds one here and can deny the bomb, he might have something to work with. There's the first kill, but down to 19 HP. He'll fall back and try and save the AK-47, but Taco, hot on his heels, takes him down. Nice little headshot to finish things off.
Yeah, good read. From Taco, nothing going Astralis' way. They'll have to regroup in this particular round, but they've got lots of money this time to do so. Double up may even be a possibility for them. Dupree's already gone from the M4, though.
I wouldn't say against Fallen and the way SK are playing right now. I think you just want to have the crossfires and the bomb sites and work out what the problem is. Let's give Device a chance to actually start being dynamic, right? Let's get him towards B. That's been a massive problem for them at the moment. Let's see if we can get the opening pick. They're trying the aggressive stance. It's not really working. I think just hold back, allow Device to have a bit of freedom, and we'll see whether he can actually find some openings here. But so far, SK have read them every single round.
Falling out toward B as always to try and lurk late, but it's going to be Taco and Fur. Bolts all evaluating the front of bathrooms. Dupree does have Devices, the setup we saw yesterday with Zonic on the op that fell apart early. Does have Device behind him on the flower pot, and he's going to hold off the solo angle inside of the smoke with Device at long. There's no second approach, so a chance that he only had to watch one angle, but still gets obliterated early.
Both of them coming in at the same time, giving them 2 targets there. Dupree can do some damage, sure, but he can't find the frag. Another advantage, and SK we'll just wait for the reactions to come through. Astralis, once again, in terms of utility, they're on the back foot. Got 1 smoke remaining. Incendiary there, but Device, he knows he has to go hunting here. And it won't work out for him at all, will it?
Gets taken down immediately by first position. Kiabi's watching already behind them because he's sat in the open. Good response. Does get Fur as well. Zipex may have gone down, but Kiabi still has a chance. Bombs down to the front of the bathrooms. Unfortunately, he's got to wait some time for Glaive to be part of this because he's still rotating from the back stairwell. So thankfully he's cleared the inside of the ace site. That gives him some room to breathe. He'll get Glaive to confirm it and they'll fall back, but bomb is now grabbable for SK with 37 seconds. That's enough time to go either direction from where they are.
Kelby might have done enough here. Fallen's in the B bomb side by himself. Assumed that was clear. At this point, Glaive takes him down and makes this a very realistic situation
and
now.
The bomb was about to head that direction. So as soon as they picked it up, they're both running toward the stairs. So that's a huge find because it forces their hand to go back toward A. Kiabi should be reading this. He's got 46 HP and Glaive's not convinced. He's actually toward Monster as well. I would have thought he'd at least play toward Connection Stairs because that way he can rotate if he's wrong in his guess. And unfortunately, it's a much longer rotation from where he is now, which will be confirmed. Kiabi will see the Molotov. No chance for spraying from where he is, but Taco's so low, Nade. Doesn't quite get him. It puts him down to 5, in fact, so he's so extremely low. But Kiabi still wants to wrap back around. Does have a kit for Glaive to work with when he arrives, but Kiabi's got to wait again. He's going to try and go for the flank Glaive. But even as he evaluates this angle, there's a rotation going in behind him from Cold Zero, and I'm afraid to say that Cold's probably going to be more aptly and suitably timed to take him down. And unfortunately with Kiabi gone, that'll be the case. He does. Okay, fine, Taco. Now he needs to turn around. Now he needs to realize the situation. Again, has the kit, but no smoke. He's going to look to long. Cold's not there. This buys more time. And he just sits to wait. AK doesn't need to peek it. Does face back. Whoa, 7 HP. Didn't really need to, but 7-0 for SK.
Just brilliant from Cold Zera. Fair play to Astralis. They did everything they could. That was the closest they've come to picking a round up so far. Glaive in the 1 versus 1. He was aware of the possibilities there. Cold Zera with the long con back towards bathrooms all the way around. His teammate Tack on 5 HP. Somehow negating that grenade. He'll get 1 and make it a very realistic situation for the world's best player. Comes from the bathrooms and just plays it perfectly. It's very well done. We'll have another eco here for Astralis. This is looking quite desperate now. CZ's P250s, the MP9 for Glaive once again, and Fur, he's just hungry for frags at this point. He's had enough. He just wants to end this game. As he heads towards shore, a little bit of damage inflicted, but not much. A boost from Kiabi looking towards the connector. And indeed, the short pipe. We'll see whether he can find the opening. It's certainly possible. It's a nice little boost. And actually will almost work out. Fur needs to be very careful here. See you later.
Glaive takes Fur back. So at least something to work with inside of the site from the MP9, but yeah, Astralis are in a tough position. Glaive, good boost, does find bolts before he can get the gun drawn once again, but still they have problems in the fact that they have not picked up any weapons based on where they get the kills, but they're swarming in well. Taco goes down, the bomb is out in front of Monster as well, so they've got to rotate. This buys time. And there is an AK picked up with that time.
This is the first time we've seen some sloppy play coming in from the SK side. It's up to Fallen to try and recover the situation. Cracks open the A-bomb site. Rips off the head of Glaive, and at this point, it's advantage SK once again as Zipex and Device. Zipex with no armor and 15 HP, trying to stop this bomb going down, but it's Fallen actually selling everything here. The bomb goes towards B. Fallen happy to go down with the ship at this point. He's pulled the rotations over, and coldzera with the AWP can actually plant the bomb.
Well, that's the interesting thing, is that he's going to let Cold plant with the AWP rather than the AK-47 to play the post plant. 28 HP as well. But bomb planted and Fallen has rotated. He has moved around to try and find a little bit of support for Cold.
Oh, so frustrating for Astralis just as they start getting something going in this round. It's up to coldzera now to pick them off one by one with the AWP. And he'll nail the first shot. He is a very proficient AWPer in his own right. Up to Zipex now, the low HP. He's just going to be saving. Oh, he's going back towards that. I think there was a different weapon available, the AK. He might as well try and pick that up. He can't win the round at this point. So he'll do what he can. AK in hand. Look for one of the opening kills, but without the kit, this is over.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. 8-0 SK. This is abysmal. Astralis as well on Overpass.
They've dropped off in this map.
Yeah, absolutely, but still, I mean, dropped off from being the best in the world on it, I would have said.
Yeah.
To 8-0
well,
is still remarkable.
Your problem right there. You've got one of your absolute star players on this map, Dupree's on 1 for 7, and that's just not going to be good enough
But
to take
especially because he
right
plays
now.
front bathroom. That's such an integral part.
Yeah, right, and no one's really fragging at all. We've got Kiabi, another one of the young superstars of the team, 2 for 7. Device, we are looking for him to be the talisman here on Overpass with the AWP, 3 kills after 8 rounds. And no one's turning up here. They're getting picked off one by one. Any openings they get, SK Gaming so intelligent with the tight clutch situations. They just keep outplaying them. And we'll get into round number 9 here. Another buy available, no real adjustment from the Astralis side. We'll have a look as to where Dupree and Device are held towards, both in middle. Dupree, like he said, in the bathrooms area, this time joined by Device. He looks a little bit rattled. He's not as aggressive as he usually is. He's not going towards top or middle or the connector. He's just holding back in these timid positions right now, and he's being caged, and that's just not what you want when you have Device on your team.
Fur's going to rotate around. Try and cover off mid slowly, but it's a different approach entirely from Astralis, staying more passive on A and getting a little more investigative at B, if you will. Zipex specifically toward Sandbags. No one really checking Monster. Oftentimes you'll see them playing the opposite side of the entrance from Sandbags.
But out. Fallen AWP hasn't really had to use it too much. They'll get long control. Like we said, CT just giving them the entire map here. And Fallen struggling a little bit with this jump. It can be quite tricky. There we go. As he gets up there, trying to open things up. Most always to jump behind that APC and try and get information, then flash and take their pick. And we'll see whether this smoke towards the bank will any sort of resolve the SK side. A final execution coming in with 15 seconds remaining.
Good find from Dupree. He went forward rather than back because he knew they'd lost long. There was nowhere for him to go. coldzera's got to try and find him, but Dupree's smart to the task, wraps around inside of bathrooms and finds the kill. That gives Zipex a chance, and now a chance overall for Astralis on the round. Fast to the site, but Fallen was posted and ready. Glaive takes Fur. Fortunately, it is just Fallen with the AWP. Come on, you can't let him get that kill with the pistol. Kiarbi will finally put him down, and finally Astralis pick up a round.
It's all down to Dupree at that point. Like we said, a player that hasn't really turned up yet on Overpass. You can see he doesn't really look too fired up at this point. He knows that's his first real contribution into the game. It was a good one, though. He gets the round up there. They managed to keep 3 players alive, and unfortunately, SK Gaming looking very strong. They can get another full buy here. 4 AKs, the AWP, all the utility. No compromises on the Astralis side. They actually get a bit of an upgrade there with Zipex and Kiabi now on the AK-47s. They have the utility required as well, but they are fully invested into the round. We have got Device on about 5K, so it wouldn't be a devastating reset, and he's going towards top of middle right now. He went for that first pick, and he'll be trying to open things up, but Fallen is on the other side of the map. He'll be looking to get in towards that B-bomb site, try and find the opening. We do know a lot of players like to favor that barrel position, and he's waiting for a mistake to be made. Will anyone overextend and allow him to find the first pick?
Fallen.
Oh, the timing on that.
That's a very unfortunate occurrence as he looks away as soon as Glaive slides into his vision, or rather where he was previously posted toward as Zipex jumps across the safe side jump to see what's going on inside of water, and it's Fur that's still close, but they'll get shut down with a smoke. Good find from Glaive therefore, because no smoke at Monster. That's the next approach. And now, with 5 players still alive, they're not out of this half at all. Especially because if they can bring back the money,
Did you see
in
that?
this round. It could be huge. I didn't quite catch it because I was looking at the money, but Zipex finds it through the wall.
Yeah, lines it up perfectly, like taps away, like knowing exactly where they are. That was really sick. If we can see that from his POV, I would love that. But still, it's going to be a 5-on-2 now. Fur and coldzera up against it. They're certainly capable of winning these sort of situations. They'll try and do everything they can. If they can't win it, find 2 or 3 kills, limit the money for the future rounds, and that could be an idea. But coldzera will drop, and it's up to Fur now to do the damage. He'll get 2. That's not bad at all, but there it is. 2 rounds in a row from Astralis. That's what they needed. They had to avoid the reset there, and we've got 1 more buy for SK. It won't be the strongest. He might have 1 compromise here. Get the AKs and the armors out, but here's Glaive getting it done. Finding that kill on Fallen, the timing there was just ridiculous. Fallen was watching that angle for about 15 seconds. The moment he looks away, he gets CSGO'd, and it all falls apart.
So Device on the op, last buy for SK. Keep in mind for SK, yes, they're through, but that doesn't matter. They want to take Astralis out of this tournament when they can, which could be in winning this game now. It's one less team they have to worry about later on that has given them trouble in the past. So Device was a big reason last time they played on this map. This time he has an op. Fallen does not. We'll see if he can get rolling with it. He's yet to really, in my opinion, be substantial. So Taco gets well and truly inside toward the drain pipe.
Yeah.
Smokes down as well on top of the ramp. He'll go above, but it's Bolts that leads the charge. He's forward and finds Glaive, trading back off of Taco. That gives him a chance to plant the bomb, and more importantly, he sprays through and finds Zipex down toward Pit. He'll continue forward as well, but finally Device puts him down. It's down to a 3 versus 3, and Fur's already watching flanks.
No kits again, just to note. Astralis are going to struggle with this retake. I assume there's one available on the B side. We'll go for a boost here. Kiabi's got to feel brave.
Much money too, by the way.
Yeah, it's interesting they haven't got a single one here, but still, we'll see where they can find the opening here. They've got the utility, the smokes, the incendiaries to buy them some space here as they make their final play. It's Dupree coming in from Monster, has to open things up. Good HE grenade, but it might be too late. Fur and coldzera have done the work. Dupree behind enemy lines. He can get the double spray down, but it won't happen. And SK Gaming managed to avoid an eco there. Another round in favor of them. And it was down to Taco. He doesn't get any kills there, but you saw the movement, the timing he got in there to take the distraction away as his teammates went up towards short. He goes down, but then he gives space towards Bolts to find those 2 frags. And Bolts is playing an absolute blinder right now. As we'll go into round number 12, it's going to be a force buy. Like we said, Device has a bit more cash than his teammates, so he brings out the AWP, but a CZ for Zipex, a Famous out for Kiabi, 1 kit. Device and Zipex almost no nades whatsoever, so grim times, and Device knows it. He needs to start having that superstar performance on this map that we know he's capable of. This round especially, get the opening pick. And Fur, look at him, he's just having a good time right now. Up long by himself, knife out, not a care in the world, as his teammates take a bit of attention away. He could just run up to the A side here and have no one challenging whatsoever. I don't think they'll see this coming.
There's been holes, yeah. Oh, well, they will now.
There we go.
They will. There's been holes in the defense that long continuously for Astralis. Time and time again, to be completely honest. Every single time that they work out in that direction, they get by bathroom connector. Dupree's been struggling to win his exchange. Again, you talked about the double peek early on. That doesn't really matter. He still needs to find 1 in that situation, I'm afraid. So Kiabi turns around, realizing there's some AK spray coming down from the stairwell. He'll go for the reverse boost as a result of it. I don't know if they made noise or not. Certainly not, Bolts. Thought I heard 1 step, but Bolts was not ready for it. Tough to tell what I can hear. It's Taco. Slides back with the AK. He'll continue to hold off B together, and they'll wait bombs back toward the stairs, so it's all a matter of process at this point in time for SK, but a man down early certainly helps.
But nice to make these sort of plays by himself. It's Dupree in this difficult corner once again. He needs to be flashed in if he's going to stand a chance to take down Fur here. Fur probably won't check it if he gets aggro from the bank area. I feel like they've got him locked down here. Should be a guaranteed kill on Fur.
One of the 2. If he, I mean, even if he checks it, Glaive needs to trade it back.
Exactly, so it's going to be very tricky for him.
Or, ooh, that makes it more interesting, though. If he's that far away, there's time to reset the aim, and Fallen now has the cross position covered. Molotov down, he doesn't check Dupree. That's a benefit for him, but he still misses the shots on Fallen, who's posted toward Glaive, and even if he doesn't, Device thankfully finds Taco, because otherwise Glaive would have gone down to him. It's a 1 versus 4 for coldzera. He'll walk in. Good trade back. Doesn't really matter at this point who stays alive for Astralis. The rounds are all that matter. It's their 3rd.
Yeah, coldzera just wanted to go down there. 3 seconds on the clock. He struck, tried to see what he could find. He gets 1 kill and goes down. But that should be money gone now for SK, finally.
Crucially, no bomb plant.
Yeah, they actually get some breathing time here at Astralis. We'll see what kind of buy comes through. We have a bit of a partial buy from what I can see, taking each player down to about $2,000. Bolts and coldzera can afford the armor and CZ combo with just the Glock here. So, Astralis should be almost guaranteed this round. They certainly need it. Still in recovery mode. It's still fine. 9-6 still possible, and that's an absolutely acceptable half. But just the way it went down in the first 8 or so rounds, it just felt like Astralis were completely blown out the water. But finally, they get a bit of wiggle room here. Dupree should be able to find some kills here. He does get tagged up and smokes to buy himself some time while he calls to the rotations there. He'll fall back. He doesn't really need to challenge that close. He's got the rifle. He knows we're on pistols now. Wants to be working with his teammates who are currently on the bomb site. Back he goes.
Device posts to cover his backside and watch main door. And they'll both reluctantly give up position and go inside of the site. Good find from Glaive to get Taco, but it's Karabi toward long this time instead. So a full change. As Glaive gets aggressive as well, his positioning could be crucial. The problem is, with no information toward connection in middle, you almost don't want to go, and good to see him turn around. You don't want to go too far because you can just wrap around behind them and lose track and give up the B site. So he's better positioned to stay where he is.
This is ambitious from Colatera. CZ in hand. He'll be spotted there. Zipex definitely saw some nonsense going on, and Glaive, there it is. He did get towards C-spawn, but he might be dropped.
Dinked as well.
Zipex, this could actually all fall apart. They're going to get 2 rifles out of this map, and it'll be a 3-on-3 with not amazing positioning on the B bomb side. It's up to Fallen now, who's got the bomb, and he'll fall back towards A. This is just a perfect example of how to force rotations and confuse your opponents. Just as you find everything towards B, you hit the A site. You've got players waiting in the back lines here, but Kiabi could save the day. He is at Optimus, and we'll see whether he can find the first frag. 10 seconds remaining. Just has to deny this plant.
Kiabi takes out Fallen. Cold is immediately to snap into his face, and unfortunately there is no time, so they'll back off. They don't need to lose guns carelessly, to be fair. Fur will go down after time, though, and that does mean he doesn't get any money, and they were already on only a second-round reset. So 1950 for Fur. That's going to be costly. As SK sit on 9. Astralis pull this back to 9-6. Go to the T side. There's a chance.
Absolutely. SK have certainly looked like the more dominant team here. We will have a buy into this round. Not the best with the saved M4, a Deagle for Fallen, little utility. We do have the 3 AKs. Fallen with Deagle, no armor, just to note. Dire times. That would suggest to me is some sort of set piece eventually coming through, like a wall of smokes towards B is usually favored by the Brazilian side. Aggressive stuff coming through from Zipex. This time it works out. Finds Taco. Opening pick, full back, job done. Hold the crossfires now. You have the advantage. Just try and hold on to it. Glaive adds to the total. That's the unarmored Fallen going down, and Kiabi probably wants to consider falling back at this point. He holds the connector. It's up to Fur to try and recover as he enters the bathroom.
So Glaive sets with the smoke ready. Bolts has been phenomenal this game, but he'll have to step up. In fact, won't at all. Neither will Cold. Glaive and Zipex find the final 2 kills. 9-5, they've definitely given us something to look forward to in the second half, because I have to say at 8-0, I didn't think that was going to be possible, but 5 of the last 6. And SK will buy into the last round with very little to work with. Just pistols pulled out. Decent utility, so look for a fast play and potentially a plant for the SK side. Device on the AWP again, and this time kits on everyone except, oddly enough, Zipex, who couldn't afford one. As he starts it off, it's Bolts to get the trade, though. CZ75 will take down a rifle from Kiabi. That'll be picked up and carried over. It's Taco to hold on to it, and the rotation has to be swift. This was always going to be a fast play with the smokes toward B, as Zipex is ready on top of the boards, but it's Fallen to find him instead. It's still the one-man advantage, but Cold is posted and ready for the door to be opened, and for Dupree to walk into it.
Here we go then, a chance. We still only have the CZ. Oh, now a MAC-10. 1 HP for Fallen, and Device rotating with his AWP. They're both on the B bomb site here. Coldzera waiting. Goes for a jumping shot. That actually does a little bit of damage. Can you imagine if that worked out? Well, we'll probably commit towards the B side, considering he saw one of the players fall back. Device, though, doesn't even need his AWP. Pulls out the pistol, finds Coldzera, and presumably the round as well. It's down to Fallen with 1 HP here to try and clutch it out. 2 versus 1.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 HP. Pulls this off with a CZ and a MAC-10. That would be pretty stupid.
Well, they've done it by the looks of things, 9-6.
Yeah, certainly. And a pistol, we go 9-9. This is a game I didn't think we would have. This is a massive turnaround. But Astralis, as we mentioned, they're more in dire need of the win. SK, I think, is... They have 8 points, keep in mind. It's not 3 straight wins. It was...
Overtime wins.
Exactly. They're 2-1-0-0, if you want to look at the whole breakdown of it with the point system. Good find from Glaive, as expected. 9-6 is where we end. But Astralis need 3 points. That goes without saying at this point, being 1-2 after a slow and sluggish start yesterday.
Well, we'll find out how this one concludes after the break. Do not go anywhere.
Well, things are looking rather interesting in the fact that it started off just as this entire tournament did, very slow for Astralis. They've pulled things back. They now sit 9-6, but emphasis on the second half pistol, and of course a T-side that's normally rather robust for them.
Absolutely. This game is on. We were 8-0 down as SK Gaming ran away with the first few rounds of the first half, but it seems like Astralis are back, and they're going to be able to give us a decent performance here on Overpass after all. They're going to have a chance to tie things up if they can win the pistol here. They got our Forces of Armor, one smoke for Glaive, a flashbang as well. He'll also have the bomb on his back, and no kits. Just to know, as Fallen, he will be dropping pistols, but I think he dropped coldzera, the CZ, and he bought himself a smoke. So there we go. That's all his money gone.
Money's overrated. Victory. More important, Fur's going to go back in from bathrooms, try and spot anyone that wants to get aggressive and close up. He's the only one, keep in mind, on the A site right now. Not that he's the only one close enough by to do damage if they go exactly this direction. Bolts is also at the top stairwell, ready to try and go for a crossfire. That doesn't help, however, Fur's fact that he's got company coming from long, so he goes aggressive, finds the first pick, and does so emphatically. He falls back with 100 HP.
Yeah, that's not too bad at all, is it? The fact he falls all the way back, he's thrown a spanner in the works, and coldzera has been gifted an easy kill towards the connector. The timing's working out perfectly for him there. It's a 5-on-3. Fur doesn't have to be in this position. He could just hold on the bomb site here, but he's hungry for blood, and he'll head towards long A, USP in hand. Kiabi holds the bathrooms area. They have got one smoke to work with here, but time is ticking away. Getting to the 30-second mark, and they haven't really got any real map control. Glaive will fall back towards the connector. The bomb spotted there. Glaive might be able to find a kill here on coldzera. Things can get a little bit dicey. There we go. There's the opening they needed. And they could potentially fall back and hold the A bomb side, but Fur is here to take them down. It's a difficult shot, though. That is not easy, and he might not come out on top there. He does eventually with the final bullet. 10 seconds, no bomb being planted yet, but the A site is relatively open. We might have a chance here for Kiabi. If he does get a plant down here, that'll be a success in its own right. He's done it. He won't win the round, but all things considered, Matt, that's an overall
no, that's not
okay
bad.
outcome.
There was a tiny little gap in that smoke behind the truck, and I thought he would find the angle and have it lined up. So I was more skeptical that he would be able to achieve that goal. But hey, there you go. Money down. So now, yes, okay, emphasis on second half pistol. They may not get 9-9, but they're not going to go down 12-6 either. They have a chance to buy sooner. They might go down 12-6, but they have an earlier chance of denying that.
Yeah, this should be full eco here. And then we'll go into the AKs in the third round. I'd like to see a few more rifles from SK. We get two of them. MP9s, they really do have a focus on those weapons, but they know the AKs are out in the third. Operation just try and farm the money into this round. See if those MP9s can spray it through them down. If Astralis can get the bomb down here, that would be sensational. We'll see whether that will be an option for them at all. No nades, no armor. A Deagle and a PD-50 as device eats a nade. He goes down to 27, falling with the first frag there. And Bolt's looking confident in the middle. He's trying to avoid this Deagle or Kiabi. He'll run the first couple of shots, and things could get a little bit complicated now with that MP9. coldzera only finds one, though. This is actually quite an impressive round for Astralis here. They're trying to make things as expensive as possible for the Brazilians. 2 kills found, and still a possibility to win it. That's slightly been diminished now as Fur gets Kiabi, and Glaive was 12 HP, like we said. If he gets the bomb down, that's great. And he has got an open B site here.
Taco's not going to get there. He's got this.
He's actually let him in.
Go safe side pillar. Oh, he may not. No, I take it back. He's going to.
Oh, Taco, have you gone down there? He's had a very quiet game so far. He is currently on 9 kills, 11 deaths. I think he had like 38 ADR after the first half. So good he didn't go down there. Denied the plant. And we will have the Overpass for Fallen.
That's a shockingly low ADR considering the dominant performance that their team had for the first, what, 8 rounds? So Taco over toward the window and down toward B as well. He'll have an M4. Cold stays on the MP9, but the early buy is expected from Astralis. If they'd gotten the second plant, you might have expected to see the AWP now.
Indeed. Fallen tried to bring that out nice and early. He's got no armor, but he knows the advantage he'll have at this particular area, at long A. If they do decide to come there, they won't be expecting the AWP necessarily, so he can get a kill, fall back. Armor's not a huge issue. This sort of range position he's holding. If he's going more combat style, like towards middle, where nades are very prevalent, maybe that would have been a problem for him. But holding long, that's fine. He can control that area, and he might have a little bit of contact here right now. Can't nail the shot, though. That gives up the fact he has the ult, but he's still on 100 HP, and he'll fall back and hold a more defensive line on the bomb side.
Yeah, absolutely. Safety first. Xipix, meanwhile, being patient, I should say, excuse me, outside of the monster tunnel with Kiabi. So set Molotov. So go in to the ramp. Actually, excuse me, that is Toxic. I thought that was more to the left. I was going to say the cover off where Taco's transferred to, but it does get him out of position. It gives him a better angle on top of the mountain, though, as Cold Zero finds one on the MP9 as well. That puts him at the sandbags to watch off. Keep in mind that Kirby's still trying to work his way inside of the site. Taco's able to find him. Good shutdown. All 5 stay alive on the SK side. They do get the 12-6, Hank.
That's not bad at all, is it? Astralis can't get rolling there at all. And it'll be head-in-hand moment. Dupree hasn't looked his best today. Started to come to life towards the end of the first half, and they actually got the 9-6, which is actually impressive considering they're 8-0 down. It's actually quite impressed with that, but it's going to be a full eco pretty much here. Astralis no armor, no nades, and smoke-graded pistols, PD-50s, and a chance for SK Gaming to swell their bank accounts now, get really established here, find that 13th round, touching distance. That's unfortunately probably going to be the end of the line for Astralis at that point. It'll be almost, I think, we come down to some crazy mathematical outcome if they can still qualify after losing this map.
Shot from Zippix to take out Taco Glaive.
Okay.
That works wonders as well, taking down Fallen, although they're still... Okay, well, now 2 men down. I was going to say so men down. They can run to the gun as Glaive gets there in time. What is that from Glaive?
How was that hit?
Unbelievable, right? Like, that shouldn't happen.
Win the round now. Okay.
Unfortunately not, but if he did, yes, bow down to the new ruler. That's sick.
Oh, I'm just watching the chat. It's a few ruffles,
chat, right?
few nice shots, few Kappa prides.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up Twitch chat just for that. I love watching reactions to plays like that. That was ridiculous.
Good lord. Wow. That's set a tone. Everyone's going to take a pause there. I think we all need to calm down. Glaive might need a cigarette. We'll find out because that was pretty hot. Either way.
I usually smoke after sex too. That was awesome. However, yes, tactical timeout for Astralis. They are still in a tough position. 13 rounds SK, 6 for Astralis. They would not have wanted to be playing SK for a match that matters most in this group, let's be honest. I mean, the fact that they nearly had Nip, I think, I shouldn't say nearly, but it looked like there was a contest between them and Nip without Device on this map, Zonic playing. I thought, all right, they're going to be fine when he gets here. And then Cloud9 battered them. This has put things really awkward, or made things really awkward for SK, or for Astralis, excuse me.
13-6, and we have the money available for the Great Danes once again. Fallen takes a lot of damage there at the very start. He'll be down to 36 HP. He's watching towards the short pipe right now. In terms of the general approach from Astralis, very tentative and patient, holding towards middle. We know what a monster Fur can be in that particular position towards the fountain. It goes without saying what he did at Epicenter against FaZe. It was just disgusting, the sort of plays he was making. As we'll get into final commitment, what it looks like. Astralis still focused on the bathrooms. First spots and falls back, got the veil of the smoke to protect him there.
So just of note as well, to keep a ticker on this group, NIP have 16 forward Cloud9.
Wow, what?
Yeah, that's a shock.
The way Cloud9 were looking yesterday, they get 16-4 by NIP.
Keep in mind the way Bolts is looking right now because he strikes behind. Glaive does spot him before he can get a full backstab, but he goes down and Zippix thankfully trades it. Yeah, that's huge. That's massive. I mean, it's 3 teams in my eyes, although Envy again could slip in there, so maybe 4, but 3 teams, big teams in my eyes, battling for 2 spots. Astralis, Nip, Cloud9, and Nip now taking them down head-to-head's massive.
That is crazy. Well, it's Fur, who is also playing very, very well today. He'll find another frag 20 seconds down. The final commitment will come through. He can hear the footsteps. He reloads, trying to buy himself some time. And they might overlook him here. It doesn't even matter. He eviscerates 1. And Taco chiming in. A quiet game from him so far, but that's 2 big frags and bringing SK Gaming 1 step closer to what feels like quite a clean victory at this point. Not a single round posted in the second half for Astralis here. They do have maximum loss bonus. They're going to have to buy, from what I can tell. It's Dupree going in with the CZ. He's taking himself down to $800, so pretty much all in here. Galil's, AKs, UMP, loses round, it's just done, it's over. They need to at least get a plan out of this one.
So Astralis sit with 3 points. If they can get, yeah, even if they lose this, the best they can get is 6. That only ties Nip and Cloud9. That's not good enough. They need this to at least go to overtime for any mathematical conclusion, and even then I'm not
sure. It's even probably still not locked.
I don't
right?
think. Yeah, I think they need all 6 points today. As Kiabi sits and watches through the boards, they're 2 rounds away from disaster if that's the case. I'll leave that to the league ops to discuss, but at least it gives you an idea of somewhat of the picture we're facing right now. As Fur as well is perfectly positioned. Again, he's looking more and more like Snacks and how he finds space behind him. He's even running and they haven't turned around. He only gets one. Xyp9x does realize it late. I think he saw him from his peripheral as he was watching toward the short pipe. Damage
inflicted there. You can see Kiabi down to 3 HP. In terms of their grenades remaining, 1 smoke, 1 flashbang. Not really enough as Bolts looks towards the end of Monster. Does do a little bit more damage towards Xyp9x, and we'll see whether this final commitment towards A yields any sort of result. The UMP, not amazing at that range, but Taco was low. One of the bullets might have just done it there. Dupree finds him along. That's an easy kill. Taco probably wants to be a little bit more defensive there. They'll head back towards the B site. Like we said, just 1 flash and an HE now. That smoke's already gone. That's to sell anything they can towards the A side. It's Bolts who has been playing phenomenally so far. Can he get this done? Nails the first shot. Looking for the second. The spray doesn't connect. The bomb should be planted here, and we have the advantage finally for Astralis for the first time in the second half.
First time in the second half. That's a remarkable statement into itself as Coldzera gets toward the window in and of itself as Kiabi with 3 HP slips carefully, timidly down inside of the pit position as Cold backs off. It's Fallen, therefore, that takes the next approach. Cold's only got 17 HP. There's kits on both, but conceding 1 round isn't the worst thing in the world so long as they can take guns down, because Astralis, this will be their first win, as you say, which puts them in reset territory, and even with the win, they'll be limited. Good find, Kiabi. Xyp9x found the other kill, and I think they're going to get away before the bomb goes off, so everyone stays alive. In fact, they do. I say I think because after casting the NA minor, I've learned to doubt that with a different time frame. I'd say it every time. Yeah, they're going to bang. Okay, I lied.
There they are. Well, it's Astralis arriving for the first time. Money should be absolutely fine for the SK boys. This will probably be their last buy. They lose this one, though, so it's not all done just yet. We'll have a look as to whether round number 22 will find Device the form he needs. He has been very, very quiet. Just to know, Dupree 7 kills, Device 8. That's the double D combo. Those are the superstars of this team. Overpass is a map they're usually very, very good on, but SK have just made them look quite average today. It's going to be Glaive pushing for the smoke. He has looked good, to be fair. Glaive has had some fantastic moments as he opens things up once again. It's Bolts to recover, coming in from the connector. And they head towards long. Quite assertive this time, Astralis. Not going to be waiting around at all. They're fully commit. And it's up to Fallen to try and shut them down. He currently holds towards the short area, but Device finds Bolts. That might be a safe call already, considering the financial situation, but it's going to be Coldzera to try and fight back somewhat here. Taco,
wow.
Good lord, this could be good.
I'm surprised he doesn't go for the bomber first. I think he was expecting that the bomber would be defenseless when he looked back, but he didn't know the Device was so close. So bomb plant the Device with the kill, Cold forced off of it. Taco tried to do what he could in that position, to be fair. Astralis now finding 8 rounds, and they have to believe that they have a chance. They have to play like they can win this. And they can. There's no reason why they can't.
Absolutely. Until it's a 6 at the top, it keeps going. And Astralis managed to convert 2 rounds in a row. Taco could have been the absolute saboteur there, but not meant to be. It was the correct play. You should never take down the bomber in that situation. Remember, it's going to take him 3.5 seconds to get that bomb down. He's essentially useless. So you want to be taking down the players who can shoot you back. That's what he wanted to do. Unfortunately, that player that extended outside the bomb site. If he'd have gone maybe a couple of minutes behind, he could have had time to snap back. But Device with a nice shot, close range, took him down, saved the round. Taco definitely could have taken that one, but it wasn't enough. We'll have a full eco here from SK, from what I would imagine. Like we said, they'll just be down to pistols. Number 23, we're getting into the final few rounds now. Astralis for now will presumably make it double digits. In terms of the buy for the next round, we'll have 38 loss bonus. It's enough for a buy for SK into the next round. 2,400 on top of their average of 3K right now.
Kiabi, ooh, back turned. We're expecting the flash. Gets around and still finds Fallen despite getting jinked up by the pistol, so down to 13 HP. Lucky number 13. Good find on Bolts as well, who was waiting for them to pass by in the darkest of corners. Device will head down the stairwell. Takes down Cold. Decent shot over top of the dumpster. Taco, the last alive, and he'll go down. So now 9 rounds. If they get to double digits, if they can keep the economy rolling, we know that it's essentially every second round the CTs have a chance of buying during the lost round bonus, so they can close the distance here quite quickly. This being the next test, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of the...
It seemed like a redundant statement, but more the fact that Fallen has the op.
Absolutely. This is one of the very decisive rounds. If SK can do this, it's pretty much game over. But Astralis can do this, where they're on the ropes right now, still recovering. They'll find double digits, which is a bit of a milestone, and at that point, they'll have the advantage. It'll be SK on the chase, and it might be a few rounds in a row for Astralis here. You can see no defuse kits, no helmets, and see if this works out for Astralis. It's going to be another default. Looks like an execution towards B at this point. This is like a set piece off the bat. They've got no real long A presence. There's one person holding for the flanks in the middle, which is a device. I'd imagine an execution with the smokes will be coming in momentarily.
Glaive will wait. Execution certainly should be part of it. Flashing behind Kiabi when they go through. Interesting approach to it. It's cold, sits on the ramp. It's Dupree to trade it back. That's the kill they need. That opens the site. Dupree can push forward. Fur can slip in behind, however, with the smoke on the bags. He's beside Zipix. I don't think they realized Fallen found him anyway. But they basically rubbed butts as they walked by. Fallen now looks toward Monster Tunnel. With the bomb down, Fur. Still at a striking distance. Good find for Dupree, therefore. Fast enough to respond. It's all Fallen. They know he was coming in from Monster, or at least the backside of the site, being either there or Sandbag spotted, I think, both ways. I think Glaive saw him as much as he saw the other direction, and certainly that is the case. 2 rounds now back in attention for Astralis, because it's back to pistols this time for SK, and as a result, I think there is a timeout. Oh, I thought I saw timeout call. It's not, but either way, it's another chance for Astralis to close the gap.
14-10. Astralis now making this a possibility. Into round number 25 now. It's going to be pistols, CZs. That's about it. Smokes through towards the T-steps, and the CTs will push through, and unfortunately it's going to be Dupree that just walks into the B-bomb site, helps himself to a couple of frags here. Coldzera gets 1. But that's going to be round. Nothing they can really do about this one. Bomb planted. Astralis looking much better now. Problem is, just 1 round will find match point. Like you said, even if they win in overtime, that's not good enough.
I can't go into
the full detail.
Yeah, but I don't think it is. I'd have to look at the math more clearly, and based on who plays who as well. So Kiabi takes down Fallen. Either way, it's a must-win scenario. Let's just put it that way. As it's Fur and Bolts that have to be pushed off the site. Eagle shot can't quite get it over top of the window position. It's Dupree that's trying to do battle and holding him off. Does finally hit the shot, and it's down to just Fur, and down to another buy for SK pending as they hit 14-11.
Just Fur now doing what he can, but after being down 5-0, Astralis dished out very equal treatment here, and they'll do the exact same thing back. Maximum loss bonus now for the SK side. So looking at that 1 round just to guarantee a point at that stage. If you're not aware, winning in overtime gives you 2 points, losing in overtime gives you 1, winning in regulation, of course, gives you 3 points total. SK Gaming managed to win all 3 of their games yesterday, but one of which was in overtime. So
the good news for Astralis is the last team they have to play is Envy and Mongols. Is that not mistaken? They have to play Mongols, sorry, and okay, so NSK, sorry, they played Envy already last night. So Mongols should be a win. So if they can survive this, if they can get this win, they should achieve all 6 points. As Bolts takes down Dupree immediately at the bottom of the stairwell at mid. Ooh. And a smoke off. He's left with 20, but it's the man advantage for the first time in a while for SK, in fact.
It absolutely is, and it's Bolts to find it. It goes down to 20 HP, but for now, he'll still be holding strong as Fallen will be looking towards the party area with the AWP. This is such a nice position here. He almost certainly hits that shot, but not meant to be. Kiabi plucks off his head and is now 4-4. That's the comeback they needed. Kiabi, another one of the players that was very quiet in the first half, but seems to be finding form at this stage. 1 minute remaining. It's up to Fur to get the next frag here. Glaive hunting the connector. He doesn't check it, and it's Bolt with low HP that pulls one back. It's Kiabi once again. He's low HP, and they're still going to trade. It's looking good. Fur now. This is the kill that really decides the round. He'll pick it up. Bomb goes down. Still trading. Device and Zipex now make their way towards the A side. Still anyone's round. 30 seconds. Molotov's available. Coldzera, one of the absolute world's best, tucks himself in by the truck. Needs 1 kill here. Going down with nothing just won't be good enough. 20 seconds, final commitment, and they'll encroach on the bomb side now.
Cold waits in the denial position. Device checks immediately, but a headshot from the M4. Cold swings, and Zipix down as well. It's overtime secured for SK. That then means, and I'm just going to do some quick math again, not going to guarantee anything, but it does mean the best Astralis can achieve now is 8 points. SK already have 8 points. They at least will get 9 after this game, so there you go. That's one team guaranteed above them,
yes.
right? And Nips at 6, Cloud9 is at 6. All they would need is 2 points in their next games.
Yeah.
And
then they need Mongols to basically have a lights out performance from now on, don't they? Start winning some games.
Wow, hopefully not against them.
Not against them, right. Yeah, apart from that one. That wouldn't work. I guess there are other matches they need to hope that they can somehow win it out. But it's Glaive who holds off the aggression from Fer. We've seen it time and time again in pushing up to that founding position, and it looks like they're aware as to how that goes down. Glaive's opened things up, and it's Fallen, though. Still obviously going to be a nuisance here, but this could be a harsh reset. We still could take this to overtime. Only one round picked up so far for SK after losing 5 in a row. Fallen finds the trade and goes towards the connector. That's a shot I thought he would hit, but Dupree finds him.
That's big. It's important. Dupree checks the corner with another spastic jump toward it. As Kiarbi walks in, and Bolts will sit inside of the corner. Kiarbi's be patient to see if there will be any aggression, see if there'll be any flashes over. No one in position to throw one for him if he wanted to peek, but they'll send Device instead. Now, Device has to be careful. I think Bolts wins this kill. Depends on how he throws this flash. High in the sky with an immediate peek to try and get Bolts to move, or is that going to be the smoke for the site? It's the smoke. So instead, Bolts is at the ready. Down goes Device. That's a huge problem. With long gone, Bolts will smoke himself off. He can focus on cutting off the site entrance itself by swinging back in. He arrives sooner than they expected. Somehow Dupree, with his back turn, gets saved by Kiarbi as Bolts missed a few crucial shots, and that's going to allow a bomb plant safely behind the truck. And unfortunately, Cold is, oh, I thought dead. Not quite dead. But the round will go in the favor of Astralis despite losing Device at long. Nice shot.
There it is, the full reset for the SK side. They've got the point in the bag, but they'd like a lot more. If you guarantee yourself the #1 spot in the group, you go straight to the semi-finals. That's what SK usually do in these sort of formats, and they're looking to do it again. Already guaranteed overtime. They'd like to close it out a lot sooner than that, but full eco for now. They can always be dangerous in these rounds. Cold Zero with head armor, interesting enough, against AKs and all, but each to their own. Fer will go down to a headshot delivered by Device with the AWP.
Kiarbi takes out Fallen. Molotov goes deep. Having the smoke down, I like that body just laying there like that. That's not bad.
1 minute here, pretty much guaranteed round. SK will have one chance really to close out. They can't really bind the next round. It'll be another eco. And that'll be 15-14 at that point, so they have to try and close it out around number 30.
So Envious plays Cloud9 and Nip. The Envy needs to win. If Astralis achieve the 8 points, Envy needs to win one of those 2 games, and I think it has to be against NIP. No, it has to be against Cloud9, excuse me, because NIP beat Cloud9 head-to-head. That would limit the points that they get. I think that's the only way Astralis has a chance to get in. As Dupree will get toward Cold. That gives them the site again. Now there's just 2 players to find. Now with that said, keep in mind that Envy's on 4 points themselves. If they win both of those, it doesn't matter because Astralis will go out in the virtue that Envious would outplace them by getting toward 10 points. If they win one and lose the other, then they only get 7, and that's if Astralis get the 8 points, 7 points for Envy, and it would limit Cloud9, I think, to 6 total. So there is still a mathematical chance that they can make it through.
Sounds very long-winded, but
I'm just trying to keep everyone updated on the importance of what's going on.
All I'm going to think about is, let's just win, Astralis. Let's win out. Let's do all we can.
And that's what they should be thinking.
Yeah.
Because SK play Cloud9, so if SK beats Cloud9, yeah, it's a long shot. There's a lot of variables that are out of their control due to the fact that they didn't control their situation enough. Bolts will take out Kiarbi, so at least gun down, but that's not really going to matter. Astralis have tons of money. Bolts, on the other hand, does not, so he going down to Zipix is more consequential.
Yeah.
And it certainly makes a difference in the fact that it is now round 29.
Yeah, like I said, SK have to weaker here again. They'll have to try and close us down at number 30. So that's all Astralis have to focus on at this stage. We'll see if it works out for them. As you can see, money's about the 3k mark. Nothing they can really do about this round. Let's get it over with. They're going to rush middle, I think. Let's just see what we can do. Get in the faces. See if we can trade a kill. If you do somehow snowball, it can be a little bit interesting. Got a flashbang in the back pocket of Fallen to throw over mid if required, but it looks like a B contact play from Astralis. Get in there, and Device will be holding the flanks, coming through the squeaky door, and that's going to be round over. So it will indeed end in number 30, or continue, if you like, as we'll potentially head towards overtime. Still very likely at this point. Well done to Astralis after being 8-0 down, and they've been at match point, or very close to it, for a long time now, SK. They haven't got going at all on this CD half. They got the 5-0, right? But then ever since the gun rounds really began and the Astralis were established, they've run away with this one.
Spray through on the AK as Zipix jumps across. You won't be able to spot in behind the bottom of the stairwell as Bolts is in fact in there waiting. So too is Cold Zero, but he can't see them on his angle. Nice tries to find the angle toward Heaven, but it won't matter for there either. So even though SK didn't really invest much, they sit back to try and get exit kills. Guns late, they won't manage to do so. Dupree gets 2, and we find ourselves in round 29. Or excuse me, into round 30 now as we go 15-14, and Astralis trying to force the overtime. Again, slow start. I think this game and sort of is a short version narrative of their entire event.
Absolutely. Well, this is what it all has been leading to. The orbs have fallen, the rifles are there. They have got one kit available, that's on Bolt, so we'll keep an eye on that as to whether it's recoverable. Fallen will position himself towards long on the flower bed. In terms of the approach from Astralis, it's very default for now. 2 players working towards connected. Dupree leading the charge there. Trying to sniff out any CTs on the other side, but no one going to be present in this position whatsoever. So they have got some decent control at this, nice and early as well. Haven't had to expend too much utility. Long A as well. They'll have the toughest challenge against the AWP. Some mid-control here as well. It's a very passive setup from the CT side. Flashbang comes in towards long. It's Device, the battle we've been waiting for, to potentially go down. Fallen will fall back. The flashbang knocked him off the flower bed. Didn't feel too comfortable at that point, and out to Fur. He has been dealt with quite well in the bathroom. He hasn't really been as much of a nuisance at the top of the middle as he usually is.
Fall in with the AWP. It's Dupree instead that be the one to peek him with the AK. He's got to be so careful. I thought he might go on that. Quick check to long, although it doesn't actually get any vision. Just sticks the shoulder forth. And he's going to swing wide. Doing so, though. Oh, I found Dupree. I was going to say he leaves himself exposed immediately to the close entrance to the bathrooms, but Dupree didn't elect to go that direction at all. Good read by Fallen. And he'll get a rotation back his direction after playing solo in the site for so long. Smokes down, execution potential in. It's Fur that's up close. He won't quite hug the wall. He wants to be slightly more aggressive. That gives up his position, though, and that gives Glaive the kill. Important kill as well. Astralis are looking to try and force this into extra rounds, extra innings, and Chiari takes out Bolts. Fallen still lost in the smoke. Oh! Denies the plant. That's done it. Fallen's done it. There's no time to plant. Fallen's done it, but Cold, no, he hasn't. Cold has gone down. They just barely get the kill with 1 second left. They're in disbelief as well. Look at the laughter. That's the most nervous laugh I think I've ever seen.
Oh my god, what was that? Fallen with the no-scope. He thought it was done. There were 3 seconds on the clock. All the CT had to do, he didn't obviously expect it, but he had to just run away and stay alive. I think it was Taka at the end. And that was it. That should have been the round. But yeah, Taka goes down. He knows if he stays alive there. Oh, it's Cold Zero as well. So Device gets a double frag there.
They were both committed to entering the site. I mean, no, they weren't even lined up. One was on backstairs. One was, I think, behind the truck. They both were committed to retaking, expecting the bomb was going down. And because Fallen hit that shot so late, I think they were like, whoa, hang on, and realized too late that they had to get away. Cold was in the middle of nowhere, and Taka was found inside of the site. So that is incredible that Device was, yeah, it was run and gun. Device got one on the stairs and swung around. That's huge.
No way.
That's as close as you'd ever like. 1 second on the clock to get into overtime. Now, if they win this game, unbelievable.
What the hell just happened?
Do you remember the Alu telling Get Right you can hacks there?
Yeah.
Through the box? This is the same thing all over again. What is that?
The no-scope comes in, and then it wasn't enough. He denied the plant. What a finish to regulation. We're already set here now, ladies and gentlemen. First map of the day has been an absolute banger. coldzera, he's going to be on the double orb setup, takes down Dupree, a shot he usually hits for the jumping players, but this time coldzera boosted, takes a bit of damage, and he'll find the advantage there.
I think that's an important first kill for SK. Because Astralis, okay, yeah, they got away with one, but they're going to be so motivated. They got this to overtime in that fashion. As soon as you get that first kill, it calms them down again. It takes that motivation straight out of the sails and brings them back down to reality.
Well then, Astralis have somehow pulled this back to overtime. What was that last round? 5-4, 1 minute remaining now. All set up for the first time, and Fur, yeah, it's been relatively shut down. Kiabi's going to push that flame for sure. That's the bomb going down. They had no real choice. It was do or die. 5-on-4 now. As Device and Zipex are the last players remaining. It's up to Device to maybe find the opening pick here, but Fallen knows the hard work has been done. But still a lot of time to try and find one of the CT players out of position.
Zipex is trying to find his position inside of bathrooms with that very innocuous smoke. Device, Smully covers off denial of default. In turn, will have one thrown in front of him. He won't be able to get as aggressive with the AWP. It's Zipex instead that wants to try and find crossfires with him. He's spotted. Device isn't close enough, however, to find Fallen. He does know he's behind the box. Goes in. Fallen reads that he's there as well. First round of overtime looking like it's all SKs, and it is 16-15.
I love the reactions from that last round, right? When everyone at Astralis was like, wait, did we win? Like, you could see on Exotic's face, he couldn't really work it out, process what was going on.
They
like,
cheered right away, and then I think they realized, like, whoa.
Yeah, like 3 seconds, like, we just lost the bomb. Like, it was just so chaotic. I loved it.
And that's why I say, like, they would come into overtime like, all right, boys, let's go, our game now.
Yeah,
like, come on. And then that first kill, I think, was extremely important for SK.
Well, it will be SK. If you're not aware, it's MR3 16K, and coldzera, fully blind, of course, takes down Dupree. That's a little bit gutting there. They're going to trade their Device. He gets the first frag, but legged in the process. Down to 16 points of health. It will be Taco to defend B. He's had a very quiet game, but he's getting up there in terms of the frag. He's up to 14 now.
Shots through. Zipex able to get a trade, but Cole posted with the other op. He's inside of the site. He swings. Somehow stays alive. I thought he was going to hit that. Kiabi makes up for it, at least to get it down to a 2 versus 2, and another round. Astralis desperately need bomb down on the deck. So Kiabi puts a Molotov to cut off the entrance of Fallen, or excuse me, a Bolt. Excuse me, Fallen's actually coming around from behind with the AK instead, so he's going to be the next in line. Flash timing, Glaives missed it. That's a big miss. That could cost them dearly. As Kiabi now has to sit in the ramp, exposed to either side, and hide, or try to, because he's flashed off butt shows, and Bolts knew he was there because of it. Another round SK. 17-15.
That was absolutely sick from Fallen. He drops the orb, picks up the AK-47, 180 on the flashbang, and completely rails Glaive there. Glaive had to hit that kill. That was everything. And he gets completely schooled by Fallen there. That was just so well played. 2-0. Astralis, like you said, desperately needed that round. It will be 2-0. 16K, so money's not an issue. This double orb setup, we didn't see this in regulation from SK. It seems to be paying dividends right now. coldzera, 2 rounds in a row, gets that opening pick, taking down Dupree twice. We're getting to round number 3. Final of the first half of overtime, and he won't be boosted this time, but he will run boost. Here we go. The jump comes in. One more. Bounce across, and it didn't really go to plan, but he still got across safely. Goes down, and then Glaive will find the opening pick. A little bit of revenge there.
They know Taco's in behind the barrels. He's Molotov'd out. They don't need to force the angle, because by going in deeper, even if he steps away from the Molotov, he's still protected by the barrels. Go tight. Hold the angle. Get the kill immediately, because now they're shut down and back into a 3 versus 3. And Astralis would not go through, as far as I can tell, with just an overtime loss. So they need to win. Fallen's going to make that almost impossible. This could be a 3-0 sweep for SK in the first overtime.
It's up to Zipex, the clutch master in the connector. No real reason to push this far. Make him commit to the plan. You're up against Zipex, who's just waiting for those mistakes to be made. Unfortunately, Zipex does smoke himself out. That's not ideal. You can see him watching it and thinking, well, that might be my chance gone. But still time to work with here. He can wait for these smokes to dissipate. Fallen with the P250 in hand. He's played such an intelligent round here. Holding that playground, locking them down. 2 stellar shots coming through. 30 seconds now as the final kill comes in as Bolts to pick it up at 3-0 for SK
So
Gaming.
I know it's a tough thing to go back to because it's so situational, and obviously what matters now for Astralis is the overtime. But in that round for SK, if the bomb's on 5 seconds,
Yep.
and you know you're likely to be going to a retake, is it almost worth it to wait and confirm that the bomb is down in case they didn't get to the plant in time? Because I don't think Fallen could see them in the smoke.
I think one of those rounds when it's round number 30 in a big game and it's 5 seconds remaining, Fallen's not guaranteed to stop that, right? He's got a no-scope on the bomb. So it's difficult to think like that. Like, you think you're safe in CT spawn, right? You're technically not even committed to the fights. You're in CT spawn, you're waiting for Fallen to do something. But it was Device and somehow reading the play, they'd both be there. I didn't see it from his POV, and that's what I need to see what kind of positions they were in. But from what I could gather, it was just 2 incredible shots of him to close that out, and it was just unlucky. 1 second would like separate everything.
Yeah, undeniably. And again, it is really tough to quantify that because you're right, they weren't in the site directly, but it's almost like, why not just hide until you know you don't have to?
Yeah, definitely. But like at that same time, like if Fallen doesn't get the kill right, then you've absolutely lost it and you're just away. So they're trying to apply the pressure and help Fallen out if required and make things really uncomfortable. The thing is, like, if the bomb's going down, that's one player taking out the situation. It's 3.5 seconds there, so they still have the advantage. They want to be fighting there if Fallen goes down at that point. But still, like, crazy round. Like, you don't see... You see those kind of rounds at once a tournament, if that. Like, that was really nuts.
Smoke out on top of the flames. That will be heard on the inside of the site from Astralis, and therefore they'll position themselves accordingly, knowing that they are inside of the construction position. They nade as well, but the nade, oddly enough, did 0 damage. I would have thought that was at least close enough to the position from Fur. Perhaps just because he was holding this wall, it didn't do anything. Fair play. Second one does more damage. Good find from Xyp9x. Look at this tap angle. Second time we've seen him get a wall bang from this position in this game. Remember, SK was dominant to start off their T-side against Astralis. It's overtime, they need 1 round. Bolts has 1 entrance. Good find back, therefore, by KRB. Doubly so, and Glaive. No assists on his second, as well as getting his own. It's Fallen left in a 1 versus 4, and I think Fallen knows it's not likely, but it is Fallen after all, and he's found 1 kill quick enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, time remaining here, and if he hits this shot, we might be onto something. It was very close. Whistle past the ears of Glaive at that point, but they will win the round. 18-16. We need another clean sweep here from Astralis to at least guarantee overtime. Look at that from Xyp9x. That's so sick. We're seeing a lot of that recently. He's done that twice this game. Once on the T side and now on the CT as well.
Well, a chance to force double overtime. What's the point for double overtime? You get half point then, right?
Yeah,
no,
yeah, it goes down again
kidding.
until you get down to 0.25 points, and then it just keeps going. It goes down to 0.
I don't know what that is. I can't count that high. It's Kiabi. Xyp9x, well, in front of him, can try and go aggressive with him, and he will. Can even trade off it. They don't need to.
Oh.
Get back! He's trying to watch the door while Xyp9x does the battle up close. That's why he doesn't want to move the angle in case the door opens.
They just want to keep that advantage, right? One of them wants to go for a bit more. The other wants to fall back. And it's like, no, we've done our job now. Let's not get greedy. Throw it all away. For a minute still. Definitely recoverable by the SK side. As we'll see if Taco and Co can execute towards B. They have no real map presence at all, so that will have to be the final play. They bullied this site in regulation time on their T side in the first 8 rounds. Molotov to come through for them to deploy that. That's at the barrels, and Xyp9x in an interesting position here. He might have to go. They've walked past him. Here we go. This is going to be absolutely massive.
Wow.
The trigger discipline. He's got everyone in front of him. Has to nail all the shots. The first 2 come in. Can he find the third? He can't. Taco, but it might be enough. 2 versus 1 Fur to try and clutch this one out. Xyp9x with the godlike play, and it is 2-0 for Astralis. They might be able to take us a double overtime.
That is so huge from Xyp9x. So much patience in that position as well, to just sit as they walk in. I'm surprised he went for the full spray when you could have thought he could have been disciplined to try and transfer it, but he just wants kills at this point. Oh, the third one, I didn't think the third one. I thought, okay, the first 2, that's fair, but man, oh man.
Tried to hold it together. He got all 3. That would have just been such a godlike play. 18-17. We could be going to double overtime here. Pressure is on. Match will be paused for the final time.
SK with Envious to play after this. Looking to try, although their second overtime game, looking to try and go unbeaten in the group, and in doing so, things difficult for everybody else who's in this little mixture, this little battle in Group A. 4 teams involved if you include Envious. I think still have a chance. Fur's gonna get aggressive. Try and catch them off early. Flash over, nearly does. Zipix backs off, knows he's there, and Glaive has the angle as well when he tries to climb down and get the position. But Glaive is flashed off, not knowing he's burning alive, is getting taken down for free, essentially. They don't even have to get a repeat position onto him. Therefore, it's Zipix that has to get above. On top of the smoke, finds the bomb. That'll slow them down in their approach, but not take it out of the picture just entirely. As the smokes give them access, did someone just... I thought I saw Cold push through the smoke just in time as the flash went out, but unfortunately Device spotted him. Doesn't matter, Bolts gets it back.
He knows there's an AWP there as well. 3 kills for Bolts. He might have just saved the round, and indeed the game is Dupree up and the 2 versus 1 here. He sneaks through. That's an easy kill. Execution for Taco. The nade might do it, Matt. It certainly does. And he clutches it out. We're going to double overtime. Dupree. Oh, you can see it in the bottom right. Everyone's loving that. What a clutch to bring it out. And it's going to be Astralis in full recovery mode once again. Bolts, though, you thought that would be it. 3 kills with the AK-47, low HP, but he can't quite find him.
Cold nearly took this round by going through the smoke, and I think it was a team flash that came out and caught him. He pushed through at the exact time everyone was blind, and then he was sitting there, and Device just happened to peek out. Ridiculous effort from Bolts late, though, my goodness. So we go and do it all again. Remember, it is 16K MR3. Obviously, you've figured that out now, but 16K to start, so we don't have any situation, despite seeing 2 straight 3-0s, where in which anyone would have to save.
Absolutely.
No T-sided round yet in overtime.
Wow, the comeback from 3-0, that is not easy. Fallen, very stubborn about getting towards that B bomb site. Tried it twice there in overtime. Dupree recovered the situation, kept it alive. 2 nuts clutches now just to keep Astralis in the game. Is this the double AWP setup? Not quite for Astralis. They very rarely run that, especially on overpasses. We Device up to the challenge of finding opening picks here. Now everyone's starting to warm up on Astralis, looking much better. SK Gaming will still be on the T side here as we enter double overtime. Bang towards B, fast towards short. We have got a challenge from Fur once again. Will he be able to find the opening? Molotov out of position for now, but he sits behind the sandbags. Waits for his chance to strike.
What is that?
What has happened there?
It hit the lip of the wood and just bounced straight back like it had flubber on it.
Flubber.
It's a good reference, right?
It is.
But that was ridiculous. I've never seen that. That's got to be one of the most frustrating things if you threw that as a CT. Cold will take down Kiabi as well. They had to use an additional smoke at Catwalk because of it.
They've got the opening pick this time, looking for the first T round in overtime so far. 5-on-4 might just do it. Looking for any sort of reaction here. We have got Dupree pushed up long. All of the SK members on the B side of the map. We have got the bomb though on the back of Fallen. He's at the T steps right now, and Zipex trying to get some information. This is the brave play if he goes any further. Flash to come through, that'll give him a chance to push the corner. Spots one, doesn't want to fully commit. He knows how fragile they are right now.
Glaive swinging out. Zipex with a kill already, and Device to follow. It's looking like it's all SK. No response. In fact, Fallen just sitting in the open trying to get a line up toward Heaven. And Zipex closes us out. Astralis have a lead, believe it or not.
Absolutely do.
It's the first lead they've had all game.
Yeah, they've been on a chase throughout this entire campaign, but Zipex there, nice cerebral play towards short. Spots the player, doesn't want to fully commit, has no idea what's around the corner. He's been playing so well on the B bomb site, locking them down every single time, dancing around that pillar, making all the shots count. And once again, falls back, gets it done after losing the first pick as well. It felt like that would be an SK round, but not meant to be. 1-0 now in double overtime. On to round number 2. Once again, wants to get up towards shore, wants to open up B bomb side up, but they're being very disciplined here, but not this time. Kiabi changes the pace. He gets in his grill and manages to take him down at least, but a trade might come through, but Zipex holding strong once again.
Ooh.
What is that from Fallen?
Hello, sir. Welcome back. Yes, we saw you just before we went to overtime, but that's the Most impressive shot he's had yet thus far in the extra innings. Aiming for the fences. Shots exchanged, and Cold actually wins out against Dupree. That's going to open access toward A, and importantly, Cold had the bomb. If he went down to Dupree in that position, yeah, okay, lots of time left in the round. It just makes things very awkward for SK. Approach long, and Fallen tries to get the shot inside of the site. Meanwhile, Glaive takes action, knows he has to, and pulls it back to a 2 versus 2, finding only Taco. He should rotate immediately. But there's no confirmation that they will go A. So Device to wait. Goes wide. Immediately they get closer. CZ therefore drawn out, and Glaive's got to get into this picture and get immediately on the backside of his teammate. Gets a spray in the crossfire, doesn't go for the planter, and Fallen takes down Device. It could be the first T-sided round, or will it be? Because Glaive gets a kill back. He has a kit, no smoke to work with, and Fallen on the AWP has backed off. Glaive's trying to shoulder bait to see that he's not up close, but he's got to be more cautious and pre-fires the long angle. AWP wins the exchange. First T-sided round.
It's finally happened. It's Fallen in the 1 versus Glaive. Glaive definitely knew what was up there, went for the pre-fire, but ultimately just offered himself up for the final kill. This shot, though, from Fallen, just to give them the slight advantage there. It will be all tied up, 1-1. Final round at the first half of double overtime here. And we'll see whether Astralis mix things up. They haven't been hyper-aggressive at all. They've just been playing pretty standard CS, and we've got Dupree and Device this time heading towards the bathrooms. Same smoke from Fur just to try and challenge it. No, I like this boost. What an adjustment that is. Should be the kill come for Kiabi. Could have been a little bit more aggressive there. He didn't get tagged up too much. Nade will come through, but go a little bit too deep.
Not the best nade we've seen.
Not the worst.
Didn't have flubber on it.
That's the problem. Cover the shoes and the grenades and flubber.
With little thumbtacks.
Yeah.
Taco checks to see that no one has the jump. Oh, it's Zipix that wants to try and find position by slipping out at sandbags. Doesn't spot Fallen, who just happened to not be there at that explicit moment, but he still is there now with the AWP. We'll check inside the smoke, but there's 3 players, 2 aggressively toward long, by the way, which we've not seen from Astralis in this passive-aggressive format without taking bathrooms. They've given up on trying to be hyper-aggressive to take bathrooms, that's for certain. They were not winning that exchange early on in the game. Dupree with the wide peak, spotted already by Fur. One more angle, apparently, because he didn't see him at all. Certainly didn't even seem like the X-ray was protruding, but it's a nice shot backwards as Device finds it in return.
The advantage now for Astralis. Juking it out towards middle. Astralis and SK going at it. It's Bolts makes his way towards in the bathrooms now. 20 seconds. 1 smoke remaining. 1 towards CD spawn is deployed by Fallen. The Device. Perfect position. Takes down 1. Can't nail the second shot, but they have got such an advantage here. It'll be impossible, surely, to throw this round away. Kiabi seals the deal. And it's going to be Taco who drops, and Fallen will do what he can there. Always going to be dangerous, but the 2-1 comes in for Astralis. They give 1 round away, but still they have the advantage.
They have the advantage. But, and look at this. That is everyone. Well, no, but that's everyone else in the group. I was going to say they have to get to 22 to win this. 21-21, we do it again. That's Cloud9. That's Envious behind them. I think I may have spotted. No, that's all.
Did Mongols turn up to watch?
I think they might be playing right now.
Who are they playing? The NIP, I guess?
NIP? I'll check. Because I was going to say I thought I saw Nip there as well, but I did not. They are playing NIP.
They are playing. What's can you give us live on the score?
Hasn't started. It's starting right now.
Okay.
Okay, so it's 3-3 actually. So it's actually just updated.
All right, bit of a game.
That's important as well, because if Nip loses that after, the situation is bizarre in terms of mathematics. If Mongols are able to win even 1 game today, Envy as well. They want to make it through, and Astralis going down now. Falling to SK increases the chances of both Cloud9 and Envy, which is why they have an invested interest in this game. Fallen finds Dupree to start it off. Great start for SK, but Glaive, able to realize that Fur was so far forward, gets the kill in return.
Glaive on 36 frags right now. He has pulled out all the stops. Not known to be the highest fragger in his team, but today's look great.
No, but you know what? In a lot of games when they are back and forth, Glaive seems to step up.
Yeah.
Lead by example.
You've always said that.
Joe Sakic always said that.
But he got it from you. Either way, it's going to be Kiabi that does manage to bring it to a 4 versus 3 fall in there. Out jeweled by the AK-47. Misses the key shot. Astralis looking for the tie at this point. They just get 1 round on their T side. They'll have 2 to work with there to close it out. What a comeback this would be. Remember, in regulation, they were 8-0 down. Not that they were average, they were out of it. They couldn't get any shots going. The star players were flat. But somehow, Glaive kept them in it. Some huge, unbelievable clutches coming in from both sides. And here we are, 20-19, with the advantage for Astralis right now.
It was round 37 they first took the lead in this game, after being down 8-0 and 9-2 respectively at the start. They might be the ones to pull it off late. If Taco can't hit the shot, Xyp9x gets it back. That certainly helps. Keeps them from being level. In fact, gives them a 2-man advantage. Bolts pulls back what he can by getting KRB on cross. It's the Molotov that is doing a lot of damage. But importantly, they get the bomb back in the hands of Xyp9x. Just before he goes down to cold, Glaive gets the response kill. It's Bolts on 35. That Molotov now is very significant in how much damage he's lost. It makes things much easier, specifically for Device if he wanted to go to the pistol. He doesn't. 7 HP. He could hold this. He could hold this. Glaive's too far away. He's going to pull this back. It's going to go.
No,
he got off it.
In 1 second.
I think he must have thought he was closer.
That's unbelievable. You had it, son. It was done. Don't let it go down to 1 second and get off it. That was such a lock-in for him. Obviously, he doesn't have the intel we have, but if you're going to be that committed, like beneath 1 second in the defuse,
take the chance that he misses.
Yeah, like you're not going to recover that one. That was nuts. The fact he was so deep in the less than 1 second that defuse, just keep going with it. That was the chance. It was done. Well, there we go. 21-19. Match point for Astralis after being 8-0 down. Bolts had that one. He played so well up until that point. Unlucky. As we get into round number 5 here, SK need both of these to force triple overtime. Astralis just need 1 out of 2.
Fur will rotate around to long instead. He's obviously got a player inside of the site backing him up, but it's Bolts instead with the ops. Double ops, they go toward B. It's an interesting setup to go toward Monster and Sandbags with it. Normally you might see one toward Monster in a game, but not both positions. That's peculiar but interesting. Enough to catch Astralis off. They've got the early pick. It doesn't come from Fallen on his AWP. It's Cold instead. Or might get another good flash. That's from Bolts as he walks out, finds Device. 2 men down already. Need to recover from the last round. It's map point Astralis. Good find, KRB. Any kill will do. Just get to the site. Cold still has vision. The smoke not bloomed. It means Bolts can stay where he is. Doesn't have to worry about pressure immediately, and they've got a 2-man advantage to work with. Swings out. Down goes Dupree, and Bolts makes up for it by getting Glaive.
Certainly does make up for it there. Difficult round for him, but recovers. 1 more here. Double overtime. Looking for triple. Here's SK Gaming now. Remember, Astralis still have the advantage. Well played by Bolts there. Lovely control. Makes it look easy. I assure you that situation was not. Double AWP out. This seems to be where SK Gaming have done their best work on the CT side. Flash through. Yeah, you saw it.
I did.
You got it.
Flash through the smoke as Fallen's going to get toward long. Timid situation. This Device was missed, so too is Fallen. Fallen, in fact, rather than going all the way back to the site, thinks he might be able to catch anyone off, getting aggressive at Park and Party, therefore. They'll naturally want to take over more than just long, so it's a good gamble that that position may exist. Unfortunately, smoked off because Astralis has seen far too many of these situations. Not their first rodeo. Sliver gap to fire at front door with Fur as well, able to swing. If Fallen even spots anyone, he's going to get more aggressive though. Meanwhile at B, they'll leave Xyp9x to lurk outside of Monster, but even, oh, he got caught by Cold. I was going to say, even he was going to be rotating off it. The fact that he is backing up the secondary op, Cold, has realized the situation, but they won't overcommit to the rotation yet because Fur is still in good position, has the bomb down. We could be looking at a triple overtime as Fur goes aggressive once more, finds Dupree, finally silenced by Glaive, but it gives Fallen all the opportunity in the world to fall to the site and find Device.
Triple overtime looking very likely. Fallen secures it there with the P250. Well then, that's happening. Advantage for Astralis for the first time. That goes away. And we're all reset once again. Triple overtime. Who would have thought this would be coming in? We've had absolutely nuts games so far. So many back and forth rounds, clutches, recoveries, blunders. It's had absolutely everything. There's the fist bumps from SK, knowing they've managed to get back out of the slump they were in, giving that advantage away for the very first time. Not going to take any breaks here. We're straight into triple overtime. Just to reiterate, anyone who's probably joining in with the hype, seeing the scoreline so far, this is a must-win game for Astralis. They've had a really difficult run so far. They're currently on 1 win, 2 losses. SK on 3 wins, but one of which he won in overtime, so they only got 2 points. So they're pretty secure. They've already guaranteed a point out of this, regardless. That's almost certainly them getting out of the group. And Astralis, if they don't win this in overtime, that's pretty much the end of their tournament. So this has to be a win for them.
And Nip 6-4 over Mongols. That matters as well, because if Nip win that, they're definitely ahead of Astralis, and I think through as well, which leaves 1 spot between Envy, Cloud9, and Astralis.
This is where it gets very interesting. Triple overtime, all the tactics go out the window, and the aggression and the wild plays from Fur come through, looking for the 3K. He nails 2, and that's enough. He's thrown a spanner in the works. They had no idea that would be coming through, and it's a 4-on-3 now for SK Gaming.
Down. Whoa, Zipix! I thought was going to get... I didn't even know that he was there. I thought he was just going to leave his knife out because he had it running toward him. If that had gone the other way, just write it off. This round's done.
Wow. Taco and T-Spawn, and he's going to have a few players coming towards him. What's the play here? Does he hold up? Oh, goodness gracious. Zipex takes him down. The AK-47, 1 bullet is all it takes. And Taco has been removed from the server.
I think he was just going to sit on top of the pallet. I don't think he was going to go any further than where he was, but unfortunately timing against it. Cold sits behind the pillar for the entry, but it's not confirmed. In fact, they're trying to fake out and rotate back that they're going the other way. Bolts has realized it. Kiarby checks the corner, but Bolts finds 1. Double spray, no, not quite. Device, I thought, or excuse me, Glaive, I thought would not be on his feet in time, so I thought Bolts got both, but now that should be the round. The fact that Glaive's gone down so low, though, gives Cold a sliver of a chance.
Oh, it's a little bit of a bait and switch. They gave the bomb up, and he said, Glaive, the in-game lead, he's made the call. You take the bomb towards B, I'm going to show some presence. I'm going to fire some bullets. It doesn't look like it will be enough to trick Cold there. He's had the bomb going in. He's going to try and deny it again, Matt. He's going through. AWP, no scope, can't hit the shot. It was a nice idea, but it wasn't one that will land this time. Good God, that was quite an exciting way to finish the round. Zipex finding Fallen here. You can see the level of play like starting to drop off in this sense. It's been an absolute slogfest, and some of the shots being missed, and the tactics kind of go out the window at this point. They've seen everything you've got in your arsenal in terms of the strategy book, trying to find variations of certain tactics and try and throw in something that's a little bit unpredictable. For pushing middle, that's common, but the fact it goes all the way towards long like that was kind of nuts.
So the double up has been absolutely brilliant for SK. Fallen again, though, struggling to find shots against Device. Fortunately, still has his life to contend. It's 21 HP. That's plenty, as we know, for Fallen on an AWP. So he'll, as a result of it, be more passive. Still stays toward the bathroom connector because he don't think he had the confidence to go for the long run to the site. Good find, Dupree to take down Fur. And with Fallen low, if they start to clear the front of bathrooms, naturally you'd expect they should be able to get at least a trade. They need a flash for Device to go long. And Fallen's preoccupied with Dupree, who suspects he's in this angle. A lot of noise. Device down. No one with him. No flash at all. They've given him an escape pattern with 2 players there waiting for his position.
It's quite common for the Device to actually use that play by himself, getting up towards long. Fallen seems so aware of it. Didn't even seem scared that someone else could be with him. He'll fall back into 4-on-4. Situation equalized. And Taco! Oh my goodness, coming from T-Spawn. No!
That's 2 rounds in a row.
Again, he out-positioned them perfectly, but he's got the knife out. And he gives it up, and that could be the round, but Cold Zero fighting back with the AWP. He can't deny the plant for now, might go for the wall bang, but the bomb will be planted, and it's a 3-on-3 again. Taco had everything there.
Cold with 1 on the entry, but now has got to clutch this back with 2 ops. Fallen on the second one. He's the one with the kit as well. There's another one down to the site. Good find. Cold finds Kiarby over top of the ramp. Continues to get them inside of the site as he has the op to continue to contest with. But the shot back, Dupree. Glaive found Fallen at the same time. Again, Astralis have a lead, and it's 2 rounds in a row.
On the T side as well. Here's a look at Taco, and he was in T-spawn.
Man.
He must be getting information. They're falling back, and then he has the knife out. Makes a footstep.
That's got to be the
shot,
slowest moment in the world.
Yeah.
Like, let me get my
Please.
gun. Let me get my gun. And then they just both turn around in slow motion, and you're like, oh no.
I just caught it before it snapped over. I thought, this is it. He's going to pull this one off, but not meant to be. We go to a single orb setup. The money wasn't there. You can see the CT's actually struggling here. The double orb setup still with 16k is expensive. You're not winning rounds. Baller now trying to find the first pick. Of course, he nails it. Takes down Kiabi. Time to fall back, but he might be spotted.
Ooh-wee.
He is, but first the player that goes down next to him. So the orb's still alive. Dropped in the bathrooms, looking for the 3-0 is Astralis, and that would be massive on the T side.
Fallen still out toward long, though. He knows, as you mentioned last round, that Device likes to play this position behind the tree. Off angle again. Easy shot to Device. And he may get Glaive as well. He may. Glaive's in a weird position at this point. He's going to use Molotovs to get him behind the tree. That's exactly what he had to do. No flash, nothing else he could do.
That's great from Glaive. Very calm, and Dupree can't step up. It's Bolts who's been an absolute rock on the A bomb site. You take another frag there.
Oh,
Glaive through the smoke. What in God's name was that? 2-on-2. 50 seconds remaining. We do have one smoke available. It might not be required as Zipex opens it up once again. Taku, bit of a nightmare here in triple overtime. 1 versus 1. Glaive versus coldzera, the best performing players on the server right now. 40 seconds, and Glaive with the advantage comes behind him, spots him. He takes the shot, and he nails it. 3-0 for Astralis. What a game he's having. The in-game leader. 45 frags.
And credit to him for taking the patience to line up that shot. Not to just fire at it and have Cold walk away behind the wall. It gives him the round. It gives them 3 in a row on the T side, which has been the issue for teams so far in overtime. Poor Taco. 2 rounds in a row he gets caught out of position. In perfect position, I should say, but unaware of it.
Yeah.
Timing was not in his favor, but Astralis a chance to get 2 points from this game, to recover what has been a rather rough event for them. And what a game this has been. This is fit for a final.
Absolutely. 1 round will do it for Astralis. What a turnaround. Device with the first shot, can't connect. He'll fall back and patrol towards long, leaving Dupree just to cover his back here. He'll actually be challenging towards the rock. We know where that battle will be taking place. It's Fallen to go down once again. It's Device, who was so quiet to get into this game, almost looked non-existent, and now he's showing us what he can do on Overpass.
For the smoke down, I thought he might get a chance to try and push through it. Cold's also gone to retake long with the AK. Bomb dropped intentionally while he does so, but they've established at least some territory in front of the bathrooms. While Taco will try and do the same over toward B. Zipex. Not alone in the site, but the one to charge with watching and getting his timing correct for both positions. The smoke certainly helps to give him confidence in watching towards sandbags instead of just the monster tunnel. Kirby importantly finds bolts. Taco now has to get more aggressive. I'm still in the hands of Cold, by the way. At long, jumping flower pots. This could be tough. Spots one Kiabi inside of the smoke. Kiabi gets the shot, though, because his feet firmly planted. He was ready to do so on the M4. Bomb goes down, and I think this is it. I think Astralis have done it. 4 versus 2. There's 34 seconds, but Taco's so far away from Fur. If Fur goes down, that's the round in itself. Good find, therefore, to get Kiabi, because he can recover the bomb. Smokes it off so he can do so. Taco's inside of the site. If he can get to the bomb and get back over in time, they do have a chance. Good shot, Taco. This is entirely doable, but Fur thinks that the kills from Taco are enough to cause the rotation. They're not. Dupree's got bomb down on the deck. 14 seconds, and it is done on that alone. If Fur had tried to rotate, I don't even know that he would have made it, to be honest.
Headsets are off. And the final kill comes through. Matt, that's got to be the game of the tournament so far. Unbelievable. Triple overtime, 8-0 down. And some phenomenal play from Glaive. He's the in-game leader, and he delivers the goods here to take down SK Gaming.
And what are the odds that the first tournament we implement the new point system, we have more overtimes than perhaps ever before? With that said, it's the GoDaddy recap with Alex on the desk.
GoDaddy post-match breakdown.
Goodness gracious me. That was a fantastic game of Counter-Strike. This is where your job is almost half done for you. We have 1K and Sponge here. Guys, you just looked at me, Chan, you went, oh, that's a good game of Counter-Strike.
Mate, memorable esports moments. That's what the Intellect Stream Masters is all about. And we got one in the group stage. Absolutely amazing comeback there from Astralis. To be down in that first half, what, 9-0, 8-0, whatever it was. And then to claw back, get to overtime. If they didn't get to overtime, they were done. That's their group stage over. And they were able to get a win.
And I mean, Yanko, you made a fantastic point. You were just saying to me that if you add up their deficit from the first and the second half, it was, what, 13?
Yeah, they were down 8-0 in the first half and 5-0 in the second half. So they basically had to fight back from 13-0 down, combine both halves. And that was just, great effort from Astralis to take it into overtime. And how did they get to that overtime? That was just, round 30 was pure madness. I mean, the call from Fallen is brilliant. He knows, like, the round is lost if he lets the bomb to get planted, and he just makes a judgment call. Here's where the bomb is being planted, jumps through the smoke, hits the quick scope, but...
Yeah, so keep your eyes on the top of the screen for the timer.
Yeah, and Astralis has the presence of mind to know there's no way we can plant the bomb. We have to find that last kill on Cold, and Cold has nowhere to run. He just, he doesn't have time to run from where he is. He just has to stay there. And Device gets him with the CZ.
During that moment, we're sitting right near Astralis, right? They're yelling, chase, kill, kill, kill. They're just, in that last 3 seconds, I'm hearing Dupree yelling all that, and then Device, he just comes up, trumps there at the end, gets that frag. They were stunned, we were stunned.
They were taking their headphones were off. They thought they lost the game with that kill, but fortunately, they managed to find Cold in the very last second.
Look at their faces just drop as Cold Zero just falls, is what I was trying to say. Look at that. Wow. Okay. So, and that was just round 30. Then we had a barn burner of just an overtime.
Overtime is where it became like more about the individual players, right?
Yeah.
You saw, okay, Astralis got going at that point. It was the Astralis that we're expecting to see. They were trading well. They were finding opening frags. I don't want to wind back too far because people, they might not remember the early stages of the game. But once again, they were down 8-0 on the CT side. They hadn't found an opening frag in any of those 8 rounds. It just felt like they weren't in the game at all. Eventually, they were able to wind back in, grab 6 rounds, round out the half. That was nice. But even in the second half, they just still felt out of it. SK was dictating the way that they wanted to play the game. They were very brazen in their approach. They were aggressive. They were just getting away with whatever they wanted. As soon as Astralis forced them to play, Counter-Strike, it looked like SK didn't really have a lot in their back pocket, especially on that T side. Fur was neutralized. That was one thing I noted, that they did a fantastic job with his aggression of stopping him from getting those multi-frags. Only maybe once or twice that I saw him have a huge impact pushing the bathroom section, pushing long, pushing balloons, all that kind of stuff. He only had maybe 1 or 2 impact rounds.
And it does make him look, I mean, in my opinion, sometimes look a bit silly, right? Like, as in he'll do these pushes. He's like push past parties against the wall of playground, and then there's 2 Ts who just kind of go,
oh, what's he doing
here? Just like, sometimes if it works, it looks outrageous.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact that Astralis managed to shut that down was kind of a big crutch of the issue for SK in the end of that. And let's just remind everyone, they would have been eliminated from IEM Oakland if they'd have lost that.
That would have been it.
That could have been it.
They wouldn't have even had a theoretical chance. And as soon as they got into overtime, that's when they have a chance. Because even with the loss, they get 1 point. Now they have 2. But it's still going to be, they obviously the game against Mongols, you give them 3 points there. But then it's all down to that game versus Envious. And I think that's probably going to be the head-to-head which decides who moves on to the playoffs.
I mean, actually, you know what? It gets even better than that. It was round 30. There was 1 second left. So Astralis were 1 second away from being eliminated from IEM Oakland 2017.
That's tasty, isn't it?
That's good. That is fantastic. We do have the guy who actually was, impressing our analysts and impressing you guys at home as well. He's actually standing by with Trey, so I don't want to keep him waiting. Glaive, top of the scoreboard and the fearless leader of Astralis as they stay afloat here at Oakland.
Absolutely right. Coming into this one, you guys came in with your backs against the wall, a 1-2 record going into it. Ultimately, talk to me about having yourself in that situation against SK.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a frustrating yesterday for us, and it's going through some frustrating times right now in the team. And yeah, we're trying to work everything out. And with SK coming up, it has always been a team that we are playing really good against. So it was not like we were really sad about it was them. I think if it was FaZe or something, we would be more afraid. But yeah, it's a tough opponent, and but we like to play against them.
Well, a match certainly worthy of a finals connotation almost. I mean, definitely going the full distance. Let's talk a little bit about that slow start there. You guys did come from behind. What was going on within the camp?
Yeah, with just a really slow start. People maybe a bit nervous and such, and we're just not hitting our shots. But at some point, we just found ourselves and we started to get some rounds. We knew with 6 rounds at CT, we could probably make it to maybe overtime or even win the match. So that's what we did, and yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you one last question, and you go from a 15 round, just almost there, 1 round from being eliminated, to now battling back and winning it. Where do you see the team vibe at?
I'm not sure how the standings are right now in the group, so I'm not going to be so sure about us going through yet, because we only get 2 points from this, I think, because it's an overtime win. So, yeah, but if we go through, I believe we can win the whole thing, that's for sure.
Well, your work is cut out for you, but believe in yourself, right? That's how that works. Either way, let's go ahead and give it back to the Xfinity analyst desk.
Yes, hope is not lost for Astralis. Don't panic, Glaive. All you have to do, if Chad has informed me correctly, because he is the golden boy, is beat Mongols and do so without going into overtime, and then beat Envy.
They've already beaten Envy.
So where's the head-to-head?
The head-to-head would be with Envy if they tie on points, but Envy has lost to SK in overtime. The thing is,
I see.
It's C9 who has to get beaten by both Envy and SK.
For Astralis to go through.
Yeah, but now it changes a little bit because of that extra point. I was assuming they were going to lose.
What do you mean Astralis already beat Envy?
They played yesterday.
No.
Inferno. Yeah.
They have?
Yeah, I got it written right here in my notes.
Envy Astralis.
Group A, Astralis, Envy, last game of the day. 16-11 on Inferno. Astralis won.
That was the last game of the day?
Yeah.
Wow, I was in a different
It was
world.
on the B stream. We were doing SK. No, it wasn't on the B stream.
I'm being told, shut them all up. It's time to throw to a break. You guys are idiots. It's straight, like, that's verbatim.
At least I was right.
All right, we're going to take a break, guys. We have lost our minds from an absolutely fantastic best of one, and that's just the first of the day. Scene set, as when we return, we'll have Envious versus Cloud9.